Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. These light-skinned singing niggas is running. They running amok. Drake and them is going ham. How this nigga gonna use AI with Snoop and Pac voice dissing himself, but talking to Kendrick? They was giving Kendrick a hype pep talk to come rap, say something back. He ain't said nothing, which is very weird because he started it. Drake said in the bars it didn't start it, it's been up, but everybody was quiet until they did that song. Now Kanye then jumped in on the shit. Nobody want to hear from Kanye. But Chris Brown, what he did to Quavo is he violated him. You like Chris Brown ain't supposed to be gangster like that, but I've been knowing Chris Brown could rap. But damn, and he told me, fuck this bitch. Quavo, you're low for that. If you tried to bring up the Rihanna shit, yeah, you're low for that. Cause yeah, just like he said, we seen how you cut up over the PlayStation, bad. Yeah. These niggas is running amok though. They running amok. We coming in with strange news stories. I think I'm starting off with, I can't remember how I had it set up. I think I got it set up with Puffy. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind all of y'all that Eat with Q still hasn't dropped her ebook or her course. It ain't nothing going on at all. And even in fact, when I was on the Fibrissima channel, I just had to see if there was any activity going on either channel. And her last post on the Fibrissima channel, she said the network and the internet was acting up and she hoped to be back to regular schedule soon. That was a month ago. I'm like, they don't say nothing about rolling blackouts because the network and the internet is the same thing. We know she be lying. It's nothing new. Well, yeah, the first three stories are surrounding Diddy. The first one is going to be Shine pretty much saying, I told you niggas I was the fall guy for Diddy. Then we're going to listen to Lil Rod's initial claims, and then we're going to listen to a video that's pointing out a lot of the stuff that Lil Rod said he endured. And I got questions for Lil Rod because he's a grown-ass man. Like, he not 19 or 20 or nothing like that. The nigga is like 40. He a grown-ass man. So I got some questions about what he was willing to do for money. Now he crying, but he was willing to do all of this for the money. So I got questions.
When you hear, the victim saying that it was Diddy that shot her, that is what is the most remarkable. Oh, you didn't see that?
I saw it.
Okay. And that was triggered by a lawsuit from a producer that produced on the Love album, who is making accusations, and in those accusations he says that the gentleman confessed to the shooting. And that is what stands out to me the most, because I've done my best to put it behind me and to move forward. But it certainly reopens the wounds that I've been saying this all along. Everyone knew all along that I was the fall guy. But my political enemies and, detractors tried to make me into, this criminal. But everyone knew that I was a young kid that took the fall. Everyone knew that was the story. I'm just saying that I maintained my innocence all this time. I said I was defending myself. I didn't get into who did what. But the victim is telling you who did what. And I understand that there are other witnesses.
Is she after it, sir?
I'm not going to get into that. But it does open wounds. And certainly I am relieved that people are saying what the truth is. That, I did not shoot those people. I maintain that I never shoot nobody, that there were other guns there. I always said that. That has not changed. and that is the testimony that came out. Fragments were never removed, so there was never any forensic testing to say who it was. But the victims are vindicating me. Witnesses are vindicating me. But I have moved on. I'm not trying to relive that. And so I am appreciative of whatever contributions Diddy has made to help the people of Belize. I wish him well. I pray for him, and I pray for the alleged victims. And if it is true, may justice be served. If it is not, it's a tragedy, because a global icon would have been destroyed.
How you gonna call in? Wait a goddamn minute. How in the fuck you gonna call in from the chat? You ain't see, truth. You got an email with the link, and you could have responded in the email. You just gonna walk your ass in the chat so everybody can see you to say, I'm living my best life. Ah, boy. Well, you did say yes. You kind of hinted at it yesterday. You said, well, last night you said, I think I might be coming in. Did you hear the Chris Brown diss? Did you hear the Chris Brown diss? Truth? Did you? Truth will document your car. The hell no, she does this. No, you can't do. We've been live 26 minutes and she just bringing her ass in here talking about some. I'm outside. You didn't know that 2 hours ago. You just, what happened to the 4-hour window? Oh, you hadn't heard it. Okay, hold on. Chris Brown he a gangster. Here you go, Truth. Oh no, what the fuck is this? What the hell did I hit? I hit the wrong button. Oh, I had added video clip. I think Chris was serious. He said his mental state ain't never stable. I think he meant it. Quavo better watch his back. Ooh, he got him. Like, you fucked my ex, but I fucked your gal while you was with her. Ooh, just from singing and dancing and The music, I'm happy with music right now. I am mad the Lakers just lost and they was up by 12 at one point. This shit is ridiculous. They finna get swept again. Whew. What Mad say? Oh no. What? Oh, that was I don't know. He called Quavo to Chris Brown, and Quavo was just, I don't know if Quavo did the song, if they were just doing back and forth talking shit in the media this past week. But Chris said, fuck it, I'm in the booth. I'm on his ass, pause. And we know Chris Brown will fight it. Him and Drake can fight. Chris Brown is known to fight in clubs and shit. Nardo Wick, Trey. What the fuck is Nardo Wick? I don't know who that is.
As to anyone, this video may be embarrassing too.
I'm playing this again because this is what he said when he needed money for the lawsuit, and then the next video is gonna detail shit in the lawsuit that he wasn't talking about on this one. He just a rat. He just is a snitch because he's unhappy. Just not get it twisted. In the hood, this nigga will be a rat. He telling for no fucking reason. He telling, I can see if he just went to his lawsuit and he kept it on just his royalties and publishing and all of that shit, cool. How you gonna tell everybody else business? They didn't tell it they damn self. They know what they was there doing. And you just gonna say something.
I apologize to anyone. This video may be embarrassing too. Let's just jump right into it. Some of you may know me or may not. I'm a music producer, a writer, a musician. Different genres. I started in the gospel and jazz and R&B, and worked my way over to the hip hop side. I've been working on an album. I took a year off straight working on this album. That album is the Love album. Off the Grid by Diddy. And it's Grammy nominated right now as we speak. I should be.
He said he took a year off to work on the Love album. What grown man takes off to work on an album for free and he got a family? Who can afford to just say, family, I'm leaving for a year. I ain't coming back with no money, but I got to do this album. Who does that? And he was living with Diddy. That's in his own words, he was living there.
Celebrating, but the truth is I'm not. Taking this album on has required so much time, months and at a time, 16 hours, 24 hours a day.
A year.
Sometimes, Diddy will request certain works to be done and tell us don't go to sleep until it's done. And the truth is we'll be up for days trying to accomplish that.
Welcome to the music industries. But you saying you did all that for free? If so, you're a damn fool. I can see if you was 19, 20, 18, young nigga status. You're a grown ass man. You said you started off with gospel and R&B, so you done worked all the genres. You know that's not how this shit goes at all.
I've tried to get my business straight with them on this album, but the truth is they're not playing fair. They hit me on below.
How you try to get your business straight with them on the album before you ever push the keyboard, before you ever push the key, they gave you a contract. That's how business go. You don't get the contract after the work done. So how are you trying to get your business right with them? This is why he had to throw all that inflammatory shit in this fucking lawsuit so nobody can ask him about, yo, didn't you sign a damn contract? Why the fuck is you crying about what you signed?
Belt on so many situations, just dealing with this. It's the contract that they give me and the offer that they gave me was just disgusting.
What the hell is
the producer
now, you
fee?
know that sound old, right? Like the Boom Boom Room or something. What the hell is the X Club?
Pennies. And on top of that, these guys are trying to steal my publishing. I can't go for that. So I'm fighting back. He's a fighter. But I'm going to put in this fight. I got to do it for myself, my rights, and most importantly, my kids. Taking my publishing or stealing it, I'm not going to let that happen. Not going to let that happen. Again, this is one of those projects that took so much time from me. I missed holidays with my family, just out. Work.
You chose to take time out from your family and miss holidays, sir. You chose to.
And on this album, at what point I was?
Yeah, I know. It sounds like a hole in the wall. It sounds like you got to have AARP to get in, the Elk Club.
Around with the hard drives, the computer, just to run the ball on this album, to finish the production on it, make sure that this album came to, a good project with good vibes, just where it is right now. And just to be offered little to no participation in it.
I have a confession. I couldn't tell you one song off the Lil album. Never heard it.
Just highly disrespectful. I won't be that guy 20, 30 years from now looking back saying
the offer he got is disrespectful, yet he took a year out to work on the album knowing the offer was disrespectful. Because I repeat, none of you people out here in the world would get up with a celebrity to work for free for a year and then say what I'm gonna get. You ask what I'm gonna get after it's over. Nobody would do that unless you going in knowing that you're an intern, meaning it's free work. But they would tell you you're an intern and you're doing that for positioning. But no, you have already been a producer and made money off this shit. So you're not interning. So I find it hard to believe that you went and worked on an album for a year for free. I just refuse to believe it. But I know he didn't. Well, we'll get into it.
So I've done this. I want to do this now. Doing this situation is not easy. Taking Puff to court, suing him is not easy. I don't have the monies that it's going to take to fight him in court. So I'm just asking, if you in support, please. The link is in my bio to my GoFundMe. The money will go towards my attorney fees and to just make sure I'm keeping my head above water during the process. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Brand new information.
I think this is my first time ever diving into what he's actually said in these court filings. I heard about 2 minutes of this video and I was like, I got to talk about it because Lil Rod is a snitch.
From music producer Lil Rod Jones going into even more detail about his accusations against Sean P. Diddy Combs in a civil lawsuit, and he's spilling even more of Diddy's alleged secrets. We're breaking down the sworn declaration just filed with the court and a letter from his attorney. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Webb. So, on Tuesday, attorneys for Rodney Jones, remember we talked a lot about him. He is the former music producer for Sean Diddy Combs, worked on his latest album with him, suing him for sex trafficking and sexual assault and harassment. Well, they filed new court documents, and included in those documents was an unsworn declaration from Jones himself, detailing more things he saw.
Did he say unsworn?
They filed new court documents, and included in those documents was an unsworn declaration from Jones himself.
And Lil Rod looked gay on this picture they're showing. He looks gay. But it's an unsworn. So he got the sworn testimony, but now he got unsworn testimony. Why are we believing the unsworn testimony?
Detailing more things he saw, heard, experienced during his time working and
can't prove any of what he saw or heard.
Basically living with Combs. And in this 18-page was an unsworn declaration from Jones himself, detailing more things he saw, heard, experienced during his time working and basically living with Combs. And
so he at some point lived with Diddy.
In this 18-page declaration, it starts with a promise that he's telling the truth. Quote, I have personal knowledge of the facts set forth herein, which I know to be
red flag. When you start the statement out by saying, I'm telling the truth, you're lying. They expect you to be telling the truth since you're filing a fucking court document. Nobody, man.
With Combs. And in this 18-page declaration, it starts with a promise that he's telling the truth. Quote, I have personal knowledge of the facts set forth herein, which I know to be true and correct. And if called upon to testify as a witness, I could and would completely testify thereto. Now, he's declaring all of this under threat of perjury. So if he's lying, that's a big deal. Now, if you ask me, I think one of the reasons Jones is doing...
Nothing's going to happen to him if he's caught lying. Don't shit happen to these women.
Doing this is to bolster his credibility because it's come under attack in the public. As we mentioned, some of the people...
Dude just showed his IG video. He showed a picture from the IG video I just played when he said his credibility has come under attack, as it should. Nigga, you a grown man. If you felt any of the shit Puff Daddy was doing was wrong, why the fuck did you stay there for a year?
That he mentioned in his lawsuit have fired back against those allegations. Opposing counsel questioned his narratives and motives. So this is an opportunity for him to tell the court, look, I have the receipts. I can back up what I'm saying. I will testify about this. So there are a lot of details that he provides, including background and how he got linked up with and started working for Diddy. And we already...
And keep in mind, Puff Daddy still has not tried to make he's not settled with this man like he did with Cass. And the way he was just crying on a GoFundMe, that nigga will settle for $1 million. He ain't settled with him for a reason.
Covered a lot of that in his complaint on previous sidebars. But according to Jones, he has hundreds of hours of video of Combs in his inner circle. He says that Combs required him to film constantly because he did not like to repeat himself. He said, quote, I quickly learned that from observing him lose his temper with his staff and family if they failed to remember something he said a day or two prior. Jones lists out crimes that he says he saw happen in real time. Quote, I witnessed the acquisition, use, and distribution of ecstasy, cocaine.
This grown man who left away from his family, witnessed the illegal activity, partook in the illegal activity, because at one point he says Puff forced them to drink alcohol-laced beverages. So he partook in the shit, didn't think it was a crime, was cool with it for a whole year. Now it's a problem. I find it problematic, sir. If you were that outraged by what the fuck was going on, you should have called the goddamn police when it was going on with the evidence there. The only reason you crying is because you said he fucked you out of your publishing and they paid you pennies on the dollars for your work. Hey, Thick Nine.
Prior. Jones lists out crimes that he says he saw happen in real time. Quote, hey, I witnessed the acquisition, use, and distribution of ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms. I witnessed Mr. Combs display and distribute unregistered illegal firearms. I witnessed Mr. Combs provide laced.
Now, here's the question that I would have. If he didn't touch a gun, he ain't run no serial numbers, how the fuck can he say they're unregistered? He doesn't know. So Puff Daddy just came in there and said, hey, y'all, I got a bag full of unregistered guns. Who want one? How the fuck would he know all of this?
Use and distribution of ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms. I witnessed Mr. Combs display and distribute unregistered illegal firearms. I witnessed Mr. Combs provide laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers at his homes in California, New York, the Virgin Islands, and Florida. I witnessed Mr. Combs' chief of staff, Christina Courtroom.
So wait a minute. You witnessed him commit statutory rape and contribute to the delinquency of a minor, and you ain't called the police. You continued working for him for a year. I personally feel like people that do this shit all this time later, they need to be charged as well. You're a fucking enabler. You were part of it.
Instruct the staff to retrieve drugs so she could provide them to Mr. Combs for his consumption. And then Jones also talks about that alleged assault that he witnessed on Combs' chartered yacht. You remember when we covered this, that Jones's attorneys had filed a separate civil action against Combs' son, Christian King Combs, on behalf of a woman named Grace O'Markey. She was a steward on the yacht. Remember, and Combs had chartered that yacht for the Christmas holiday in 2022. So according to the declaration, Jones, quote, witnessed Christian Combs drug and sexually assault a stewardess while we were on the yacht Mr. Combs rented in St. Bartholomew.
So you watched a rape occur and you ain't say nothing? Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this nigga. First, he said he witnessed statutory rape and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Now he's saying he witnessed a woman be raped and drugged and raped. What the fuck? And he didn't care at the time. As long as his publishing was cool, we wouldn't be hearing about none of this shit. Why should we take Lil Rod serious? Is he really trying to help people?
St. Martin and the Virgin Islands. The assault began in the makeshift studio on the yacht while I was recording Christian Combs' auto-tunes rapping. Again, we talked more in depth about that lawsuit in another sidebar episode. O'Markey claims that Christian gave her a spiked drink, touched her all over her body without her permission, and tried to force her to perform oral sex on him. And she had to actually fight him off. Now, the next part of this declaration from Mr. Jones is absolutely fascinating. It reads, quote, I have videos of Mr. Combs and me working out on the treadmill with TD Jakes playing on the monitor. We watch TD.
So he there, he doing all this work for free apparently. Yet he's working out with TD Jakes. Now this is what's key. He working out and they watching TD Jakes after the Cassie shit. So after Cassie files her lawsuit, this nigga is still there with Diddy. He's still there working out with him.
Jake's sermons every morning during our workouts. At first, I thought it was admirable that Mr. Combs listened to sermons while working out, until I realized he was not studying the message, he was studying the messenger's mannerisms. During our gym sessions, he detailed how he planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop T.D. Jakes to soften the impact on his public image of Cassie Ventura's pending lawsuit. Remember,
Lil Rod, why the fuck are you still working out with Diddy? If it's been a year, you ain't getting your money. Keep in mind when the Cassie lawsuit hit, and then he filed his shit like 3 or 4 weeks later. But he was working out with Diddy, and Diddy told him, I'm gonna use my TD Jakes relationship to help my image because Cassie's suing me. He knew all of this. He knew. That's why I'm saying, why the fuck, like you was still just kicking it with this nigga, so you was fake kicking it?
Ventura had filed a lawsuit against Combs back in 2023 for sexual assault and sex trafficking, but she ended up settling with Combs the day after it was filed. So Jones also goes into detail about what he said happened at this so-called writers camp at Chalice Recording Studios. You may recall that in his lawsuit, he claims he witnessed a shooting there and that Combs allegedly tried to cover up his involvement. He writes, quote, Mr. Combs converted the parking lot of Chalice Recording Studios into a makeshift nightclub. He had everything imaginable there, including a full-service bar, a massage spa, and hookah. Mr. Combs required everyone working on the Love album to take laced shots of De Leon tequila. There was no way to tell him no.
It is a way to tell him no. Cat Williams said, if you tell Diddy no, you'll be all right. You just got to say no. You was a grown-ass man, could have said, no, I'm out. See, if you had any integrity and morals, as you claim, you couldn't have worked for this man for a year while all this shit was going on. Now, you said you watched him buy the drugs and all of that, procure the drugs. You said he made everybody taste laced alcohol shots with him. You were one of them. So you was cool getting high off them illegal drugs. You probably had one of them illegal guns. You said he passed out to everybody. You was living a good life. You was on his treadmill, living in his house, sucking his dick probably. Yeah, you was living a good life. I think you was jaded because you couldn't go, I don't even think your money and shit, what they do, you, I believe you about to publish it because they got a video about that, but I think you signed a good contract, I think you signed a good contract. And I think you were just mad that you weren't able to go to the Grammy parties and be on the stage and shit for whatever awards he got a nomination. You just wanted to be part of the entourage. I think that hurt your feelings.
Mr. Combs felt anyone who refused to drink with him was suspicious and untrustworthy. At the time, I did not realize that he used the laced shots of alcohol to obtain and maintain control over the person consuming the alcohol. And of course, the lawsuits against Combs have accused him of sex trafficking, and that is allegedly...
At the time, you didn't realize he was doing all of this. Yet you witnessed all the shit that he was doing. You said you saw the man giving minors alcohol and shit. You knew they was laced full of drugs. You said you seen his son do it to somebody else. And you didn't realize that that's what they were doing. They was getting you high so they could control you. Notice he ain't talking about himself. He's telling everybody else's business in this shit instead of his own experiences. What did Puff Daddy do to you that was wrong? Talk about that.
But the Homeland Security investigation into him is tied to a trafficking operation. Remember, His properties in LA and Miami were raided by Homeland Security agents 2 weeks ago. Jones continues in the declaration with, quote, "Throughout the duration of my time living with Mr. Combs, I personally witnessed Mr. Combs order his staff to bring him drugs and sex workers. This was a common occurrence and he was never told no. During this time, I was forced to solicit sex workers and perform sex acts to the pleasure of Mr. Combs. Unbeknownst to me, Mr. Combs..."
You was forced to sleep with hoes. So he said, hey, go get you a prostitute and sleep with her. But you didn't know that it was being recorded? You thought he was just getting you some pussy for the hell of it? You can't, none of this shit makes sense. No matter how you spin it, it's not gonna make sense, sir.
Had hidden cameras and audio devices in all of the rooms of his homes. I only discovered...
Sir, it's common knowledge that you go to a millionaire house, your ass is being recorded. It's like when you go into one of these, they got too much to lose. They watch you. The only place they can't legally have them in the house is the bathroom. But everywhere else, all common areas, bedrooms and shit, yeah, it's common knowledge.
I was forced to solicit sex workers and perform sex acts to the pleasure of Mr. Combs. Unbeknownst to me, Mr. Combs had hidden cameras and audio devices in all of the rooms of his homes. I only discovered this several months into living with him when I had to pick up my Uber Eats delivery from the security office. Usually, the security would bring my food deliveries.
Where you were getting money from, Lil Rod, if he ain't paying you? Or was Diddy paying for your Uber Eats and shit? Was he paying for your food? We know you was living with him, so you lived rent-free for a year. How was your food getting paid for? 'Cause I refuse to believe that you just went to stay at that man's house and make beats for him for free because it was Puff Daddy. I'm sorry. If so, you're an idiot.
Whenever I was in Mr. Combs' home, but at this point, I was close and familiar with the security, so they called me to their room and told me I could go in and retrieve my food myself. I saw 4 to 6 large flat-screen television monitors at the time. Each monitor had at least 20 to 30 little screens in them. Each screen was a view of a room in and surrounding Mr. Combs' home. Remember, Jones claims that he was sex trafficked, and there is videos of this.
He was sex. So now he was sex trafficked? How? I thought he bought pussy for you. None of this makes sense.
And that's presented at a trial. That is significant evidence, to say the least. Now, Jones even listed out...
He doesn't have it, though. He lied.
The document dates when he says he was forced to solicit sex workers for Combs. He also names a celebrity that we haven't really referenced yet, Chris Brown.
He's telling everybody bid, and now he done put Chris Breezy in it. Sir, you better leave that nigga alone. You heard what he just did to Quavo. You better leave him alone.
On July 2nd, 2023, Mr. Combs had a listening party in his California home. There were a lot of people present at this party, including Chris Brown, Justin Combs, sex workers, and some underage girls.
He cool with the underage girls the whole year he living there. He's so cool with the underage girls drinking and shit that he wake up and exercise with Diddy watching TDJs.
Combs would typically bring the younger women to these parties. I have 2 videos of 2 different sex workers that Justin Combs brought with him to Chalice Recording Studios. I could provide the videos to the court. This event began at 7 p.m. Mr. Combs requested female sex...
No, it's a civil suit. All this is civil. It ain't no criminal charges filed against Diddy. He's suing him for money. That's why I played the first video. His first video, it was all about his contract and his publishing. They gave me a bad deal. When he goes to sue, he don't mention nothing about the bad deal, his publishing or nothing. He just adding on to what Cassie said. He's snitching pretty much. Well, he threw himself in there and said he was sex trafficked. He said he was forced to take alcohol shot, even though I don't understand how. As a grown man, leave. The check, you cared about the check. That's why the fuck you didn't tell him no. You wanted to be around Diddy. You wanted to be at the Diddy parties. You was amazed how this nigga turned the studio parking lot into a club.
Workers and required me to solicit them. An hour later, several sex workers appeared. In addition to sex workers, there were at least 5 women in the crowd who appeared.
Where you get the hoes from? Can you contact them again? Hey, yours truly. Can you, is there any way that you could do that? Could you reach out to these hoes again and have them come testify? Because that's what you're going to have to do. Where did you find them at?
To be under the age.
Then he needs you to go get some, but at the other places he had. Okay, so I guess he used everybody.
It's 16. Mr. Combs forced all the.
I'm just saying, Diddy could walk in any club in America and say it just like this. Hey, party at my house. I need 20 of you bitches to come on. He could say it just like that, and they would leave the strip club, the party, or whatever they're going. I don't think he had to hire nobody to do that. And they would be sex workers for the night.
Attendees to drink laced DeLeon liquor. I believe Mr. Combs laced the liquor with ecstasy. I have personally witnessed his staff members.
He believes it. How do you believe it? Either you know or you don't. He just get away with a lot of shit in this filing, and that's the fucked up part about Puff Daddy being a nigga with a name. You could just say anything and you gonna look bad because you got the money. Puff Daddy the only one who went through this. But listen to all the inflammatory, I believe it was ecstasy. But just what were the drinks laced with? Since you said that he forced everybody to take laced drink shots. And keep saying DeLeon for some odd reason. He promoting the shit out the brand. I'm still confused as to why you took the shots, why you never quit. And now you telling us about your family, and the flip side of this is your family looking at you like a weak ass nigga. Cause look at all the shit that you endured. Now you telling when you had a chance to leave, if you were so bound and conflicted by what was going on, you could have freely left. Yeah, he was enjoying himself. He was part of the shit. He was getting the fuck bad bitches. He was getting the drink for free, smoke for free, get high for free, all of that shit. Live in the man's house for free, go to all these parties for free. And he was getting paid. This nigga was getting paid. He's complaining about a contract he signed up front. Because if he did not sign a contract and he just started working, he's a dumbass. If Puff Daddy probably came to him at the beginning and just gave him $250,000 without knowing what that $250 included, that's his fault. He still got paid. But for him, the $250,000 was $250,000, but it's Diddy. You got to work 16-hour days if I need you to. I already gave you the money. I think Diddy, he was mad that Diddy, no, he was still hanging out with Diddy when Cassie sued him because he said him and Diddy was exercising and they was watching TD Jakes, and Diddy told him he was going to leverage his relationship with TD Jakes to fix his image because of the Cassie shit. So he was still with Diddy when Cassie announced she was suing. He just didn't get to go to the Grammy parties and shit, and I think his feelings was hurt. He wanted to be on Puff Daddy's arm on a red carpet, and Puff was like, no. Come on, Playboy. Come on, Daddy, not in the public.
Mr. Combs forced all the attendees to drink laced DeLeon liquor. I believe Mr. Combs laced the liquor with ecstasy. I have personally witnessed his staff members, Brendan Paul and Boy Bond, lace alcohol with ecstasy. We remember Brendan Paul was
So you witnessed him do it before. But the time you talking about, you can't say for sure if the shit was laced or not with ecstasy. So how does this go? Because I done put ecstasy in alcohol and shit before. it doesn't dissolve like this. So you saying they just had a big punch bowl with a whole bunch of X pills in it, stirring it up to dissolve, or did they have an X pill in a bottle of everybody's shot glass and pass them out? How does this work? We need detail.
Actually arrested.
Most of this shit, if this ever goes, if they actually have a trial for this, most of this shit is gonna be thrown out on hearsay. And this shit that they're reading right now, this is the unsworn tape statement that he started off by saying, I promise I'm telling the truth, on God.
Drug charges during the raid on Diddy's properties. But Jones continues, quote, the presence of what I perceive to be underage women made me very uncomfortable. I attempted.
Now, earlier in the damn statement, he said they was underage. Now it's what he perceived to be underage, so he doesn't fucking know. He's changing his statement up in the same fucking filing.
To leave, and Mr. Combs forced me to. We remember Brendan Paul was actually arrested on drug charges during the raid on Diddy's properties. But Jones continues, quote, the presence of what I perceived to be underage women made me very uncomfortable. I attempted to leave, and Mr. Combs forced me to stay. I had my car keys in my book bag. I have never.
Wait a damn minute. I tried to leave and Puff Daddy made me stay for a year. So Puff Daddy never bitch, what did you have? Stockholm syndrome, nigga? You ain't known this nigga your whole life. Now this nigga said Puff Daddy wouldn't let him leave. What, did he fight you? You should have let him fight you. Then you could have got him for assault. Could have broke your phone out. He got him for assault. You could have broke the phone out right then. Somebody, look, y'all, he won't let me leave. But like, come on, G, you a grown man. This is the first time I done ever heard him say he wanted to leave though, but Puffy wouldn't let him. So all these stories that you telling in this filing, he wouldn't let you leave.
Never lost my keys, and Mr. Combs went so far as to take my car keys to prevent me from leaving. After being fooled,
you let him take your keys, nigga? So you was scared of Puff Daddy. You didn't want to put your hands up. He had you shook.
it made me very uncomfortable. I attempted to leave, and Mr. Combs forced me to stay. I had my car keys in my book bag. I have never lost my keys, and Mr. Combs went so far as to take my car keys to prevent me from leaving. After being forced to drink laced DeLeon shots, I began feeling lightheaded and I passed out. I remember when—
Man, if this nigga don't sound like a bitch, this sound like a story a hoe would be telling in her filings. I took a shot and I began to feel lightheaded. Next thing you know, he gonna wake up in Diddy bed. Man, this is some bullshit.
Up at 4 a.m. I have never lost my keys, and Mr. Combs went so far as to take my car.
This nigga, he forced me to take this. This is a grown man saying another grown man forced him to stay. Nigga, fight. Even if you lose the fight, nigga, you tried to get it. They wouldn't have let you stay after they done whooped your ass. You would have had to get the fuck up out of there.
To prevent me from leaving. After being forced to drink laced DeLeon shots, I began feeling lightheaded and I passed out. I remember waking up at 4 a.m. the following morning, naked with a sex worker sleeping next to me. In his complaint, Jones—
I woke up naked with a prostitute next to me. Nigga, why you didn't call the police then and say you was raped by a prostitute? Like, what the fuck? Why are we here? So it was cool. It was cool that you woke up with a fat bitch next to you. Cause you didn't feel like you were taken advantage of or you were raped because you didn't file a police report. Still haven't. This nigga woke up at 4 a.m. naked next to a prostitute, he said. Man, how's that Diddy fault? Oh, because he forced you to drink the alcohol laced with. Well, she was drunk too, sir. She was on the same substances as you. So if that was crossed out, didn't nobody know what the fuck they were doing. Oh, see, this is why I haven't been keeping up with this shit. I don't like Lil Rod, and somebody's gonna whoop Lil Rod ass when they see him out somewhere. All these people he didn't name, somebody kinfolk is gonna fuck Lil Rod up.
Previously mentioned a similar event and describes it in this declaration as well, writing, quote,
right, infamous. If Puff Daddy didn't pull a gun and say, look, bitch ass nigga, you ain't gonna leave, you gonna take this shot and you gonna enjoy it. How did he make you stay? He took your keys. Nigga, what, he snatched them out your hand? So you let a grown man snatch your keys out your hand. You ain't say, give me my keys back. You ain't call an Uber. You just accepted it. You ain't dial 911 and say, this nigga won't let me leave. It's underage hoes in here. It's come on now. This is 2024. This shit was in 2022, 2023. He couldn't simply dial 911 while Puff Daddy was pressing him saying, no, playboy, you ain't finna leave this house, nigga. Hey, what the fuck? He couldn't text nobody and say, hey, call the police. Puff Daddy won't let me leave. I think it's underage girls in here. He just dealt with it, took the shots. Still ain't text nobody now. Fuck it, he ain't text nobody because he said he was leaving, which meant he had his phone and his backpack. He was ready to get up out of there. He ain't text or call no goddamn back. He took the shot, woke up with a stripper next to him.
February 2nd, 2023, I believe Mr. Combs drugged me.
Right, he didn't text none of the family that he said he was away from for a year.
After being forced to drink laced DeLeon shots, I began feeling lightheaded and I passed out. I remember waking up at 4 a.m. the following morning naked with a sex...
So he forced you to stay. He forced you to drink the shots. Did he force you to swallow? Was he watching to make sure everybody swallowed the shots? Because you could have spit the shit back out. I'm just saying. Did Puff Daddy come around and say, open your mouth, nigga? I need to make sure. Did he tickle your uvula to make sure you had swallowed? Pause.
Worker sleeping next to me. In his complaint, Jones previously mentioned a similar event and describes it in this declaration as well, writing, quote, on February 2nd, 2023, I believe Mr. Combs drugged me. I remember waking up naked, dizzy, and confused. I was in...
He didn't call the police, though. He believed Puff Daddy drugged him. So this is the second time. One time he woke up with a bitch, and the next time I'm guessing he woke up with Diddy. 9 times did he call the police. He was worried about his publishing and his shit. And exercising, watching TD Jakes.
To previously mentioned a similar event and describes it in this declaration as well, writing, quote, on February 2nd, 2023, I believe Mr. Combs drugged me. I remember waking up naked, dizzy, and confused. I was in bed with 2 sex workers and Mr. Combs. I also recall
Oh, the diddler got him. The diddler got him. He knew what the fuck was going on, though. Yet he stayed. Keep in mind, February. Y'all, let's put this shit in perspective. Hold on, let me see when Cass sued this nigga. Let me see. But he said this February 2023. When sued Diddy. This shit is wild. Okay, let's see. This is February. Cassie sued Diddy November 16th, 2024. Okay, that's when she said she was suing. He said in February He woke up dazed, confused, disoriented, with 2 gals and Puff Daddy in the bed. Didn't call the police. What he did was he continued working with Diddy up until at least November 16th, but it had to be after the Cassie shit, because the Cassie shit got settled the next day. But he said he was working out with Diddy, and Diddy said he was going to leverage his relationship with T.D. Jakes. So you feel like he raped you and drugged you in February, but you stayed and was working out with this nigga after Cassie suit. Man, I cannot. This nigga is full of shit. Or if at worst, he's just a bitch ass nigga.
Wandering around the house with no clothes on. I have photos of the sex workers sleeping on the bed the morning after. I can provide it to the court if necessary. And from there, Jones explains in this declaration.
Why haven't you went to the police yet? This is twice you feel like you were violated. You ain't went to the police one time. You have went to federal court to sue for an undisclosed amount of money, but no police report yet. You'll provide evidence of sex workers in a lawsuit, but not to the police, and you feel like you were taken advantage of. So you don't really want justice, you want money. You just like these hoes. He's a disgruntled hoe, y'all.
Some of the things he says that Combs offered him was important in a section case, that you were transported over state lines, forced to perform sex acts, and were promised something of value. That's the commercial element of commercial sex acts.
He was transported or he wanted to go.
Quote, Mr. Combs promised me many things to entice me.
If he wasn't making beats, that's what his job was. That he was there to produce beats. What does partying have to do with you making beats? You could have said, no, I'm going to work on the album. Because remember, when did you have time to do all this shit when you said you was working 16-hour days and shit? When did you have time to witness all this shit? When did you sleep? If you work 16, it's 8 hours to sleep. When the fuck did he party and witness all this other shit and then go back to work? All these long days and nights that he was talking about for the year.
To continue engaging in his sex trafficking operation. Multiple occasions, we discussed winning Grammys for the Love album. He promised I would win the Grammy for Producer of the Year for the Love album. He offered me $250,000 to purchase all the instruments I wanted. He promised me ownership of this $20 million property, One Star Island in Miami, Florida. He promised to give me access to record labels.
Man, he sound like a bitch. Wait a minute, you listen to all this shit? He said this and it wasn't in the contract, and you've been in the music business how long?
Case out that you were transported overstate.
He mad about that Grammy shit. He promised me. He said I was gonna be producer of the year. The album won some awards. Your name tied to it.
Forced to perform sex acts and were promised something of value. That's the commercial element of commercial sex acts. Quote, Mr. Combs promised me many things to entice me to continue engaging in his sex trafficking operation. Multiple occasions,
But did he ever give you anything? He promised you plenty of shit, but did he ever give you anything? If he didn't, you was a dumbass nigga. Clearly he didn't, you're suing. But listen to what he said Diddy promised him to keep him engaged in the sex trafficking ring. So he's admitting money made him continue doing it instead of his morals saying no. He didn't give a fuck that he was committing a crime and Diddy commit crimes. He didn't give no fuck as long as he was going to get everything that was promised to him.
Discussed winning Grammys for the Love album. He promised I would win the Grammy for Producer of the Year for the Love album. He offered me $250,000 to purchase all the instruments I wanted. He promised me
And you took the 250.
ownership of his $20 million property, One Star Island in Miami, Florida. He promised to give me access to record label executives. And from there, Jones gives more details about an alleged assault that happened in Miami. He says that while using the restroom, young Miami's cousin burst into the bathroom and began groping him. Quote, I honestly believe that Mr. Combs sent her in there to sexually assault me, as I could hear him and the other guests laughing outside the door. As she entered,
because Lil Rod is gay. Again, this is the third time you've said you've been assaulted and you didn't call the police on anyone. When she came in there and groped you and you didn't want it, why didn't you call the police? Oh, it's because Diddy promised you shit.
the bathroom, she dropped to her knees and began performing oral sex on my exposed penis. I pushed her away and exited the bathroom. Young Miami's cousin, him and the other guest left.
He gay. He pushed her away and left the bathroom. He gay.
Outside the door. As she entered the bathroom, she dropped to her knees and began performing oral sex on my exposed penis. I pushed her away and exited the bathroom. Young Miami's cousin did not accept my rejection and followed me out of the bathroom. She started undressing in front of everyone and attempted to straddle me and have sex with me in the presence of Mr. Combs and his staff.
But sir, you pushed, unless you walked out the bathroom with your dick out, unless you didn't pull your pants up when you came out the bathroom, how the fuck was she gonna straddle you without taking your clothes down? You said she took her clothes out and attempted to straddle you with your clothes on? He called the police. He got recordings of everything else, but not this. Still, no 911 and hang up or nothing.
They were all laughing. So much to make sense of in these Diddy lawsuits. It can get a bit complicated. I'm not going to lie to you, talking about all these civil claims. But let me call out Morgan and Morgan. They are all hate this process because they sometimes violent personality. Quote, Mr. Combs often switched his approach to force me to obey and comply with his demands. On multiple occasions, he would threaten me with physical harm. Mr. Combs threatened to eat my face and informed me that he was willing to kill his mother to get what he wanted, so he wouldn't think twice about harming me. That is something.
So you were scared. You were scared of Diddy, a grown-ass man, admitting he was scared of another human who you pretty much had the ups on. If you had to kill Diddy, it'd have been justified. If you telling all this shit, why didn't you just kill him? You was exercising with the nigga. You could have hit him in the back of the head with a beer bottle, a De Leon bottle, something. You lived with this nigga.
We heard in the prior complaint as well. Quote, Mr. Combs would also make me work out of this.
You woke up in bed with him in two holes. You had the ups on him. He was still asleep. Could have fucked him up then.
Mr. Combs threatened to eat my face and informed me that he was willing to kill his mother to get what he wanted, so he wouldn't think twice about harming me. That is something that we heard in the prior complaint as well. Quote, Mr. Combs would also make me work out of this bedroom whenever he had gang members and drug dealers visit him. I have witnessed Mr. Combs hand out guns from the hidden room in his bedroom closet. I have witnessed known gang members at his home in LA and Miami.
So, wait a minute. He made you work in the room, which was, he hid you in the room when gang members and drug dealers was over. But you witnessed him hand out the guns in the same room you was in. What was the purpose of having you in the damn room then? You made it seem like he was trying to hide. He see what the fuck he was doing, even though he was trying to hide you.
He paid from the stacks of cash he has in the hidden room in his bedroom closet. Jones said Holmes was very...
Right. Infamous, when he came out the bathroom, she tried to suck his dick, he could have went home. He didn't. He stayed there and she tried to straddle him. He didn't try to hit the door.
Very aware of the power he had and made sure that everyone around him knew it too. Quote, Throughout my time living with Mr. Combs, he made it very clear that he did not spend his money on anything. He made it clear that he had partnerships and relationships with very powerful individuals and organizations, and these individuals and organizations funded his lifestyle. And then the declaration from Jones also rebuts claims by Universal Music Group, a defendant in his lawsuit. Jones writes, quote, "My counsel informed me that UMG claims that they did not pay for sex workers or sponsored any of the club love parties or the writers' camp. These claims are contradicted by the reality I saw with my own eyes. There were employees of UMG and Motown present at the writers' camp, at listening parties, and after parties. I was told by Mr. Combs they were there, and I saw them there. Mr. Combs told me they were scouting for talent. As it pertains to the sex workers, they also paid for them. I have several videos of the Chalice recording studio sessions, as well as in-home recording sessions, and there are sex workers and producers in the studio. The sex workers in these videos were the only individuals paid." So again, this is his account, right? If he backs it up by receipts, photos, screenshots, it's important. It's important. And these are very, very serious claims. But
it's amazing the shit he recorded on everybody else, but when the shit was going on with him, no recordings of it.
And now he's doubling down on this court filing, saying that in this unsworn declaration that he can prove it. Now, I will tell you that Jones, he also provides multiple photos in the lawsuit of men and women inside a recording studio. Jones claims that the women in these photos are sex workers. And the
you can't, but a picture doesn't prove that they're fucking sex workers just because he claims they are, but that doesn't mean they are. A picture of men and women inside a studio does not mean, so are all the niggas in the pictures gangbangers and drug dealers? If all the women in the pictures are sex workers, are all the dudes in there gangbangers and drug dealers?
Goes on to talk about
he said he got a recording of what?
List out several.
So Diddy let you record him on the massage table, saying shit
Combs
like
allegedly
this.
told him, quote, "Mr. Combs bragged about having Daphne Joy, the child mother of a competing rapper, on payroll as one of his sex workers. I have a video of Mr. Combs on a massage table receiving massage from a professional masseuse while Daphne Joy is giving him a foot massage."
Cassie didn't even say she had all these recordings and shit, but this nigga got all the recordings. But he want to tell y'all he wasn't getting paid. He signed a bad contract. This nigga lived free for a year.
Combs bragged about shooting a woman in the face in 1999 in New York City and getting away with it. He bragged about departed attorney Johnny Cochran's savvy legal skills and ability to pay off the witnesses through private investigators and other third parties. He bragged about having Jennifer Lopez carrying his gun into the club the night of the shooting. And
why would Puffy be talking about some shit from 98, 99, and 2024 just to a random nigga? He ain't stayed out of jail. If he did it, he hadn't stayed out of jail all these years by being loose-lipped with random niggas. This guy here is a random nigga. Cassie was his girlfriend for years and years and years. She ain't got no story like this. She got her own story, like he blew up Kid Cudi car and shit, but she ain't never say he said that he did it. I did it.
That he had so much power and influence over her at the time. He bragged about getting Shine to take the heat for the shooting and the fact that he paid Shine through a record deal with his friend L.A. Reid. And it wasn't there because
he got that story from James. Why shit happened in 98, 99? why would he be talking about it in 2023 to a random nigga? It was somebody from 98, 99 he was talking to, I could see. But just a random nigga while he getting a massage. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Really? But he hadn't done this to anybody else. But Gene Deal told the story about this. It's already out there that there was a record deal that Chad had for $1 million. So he didn't need to tell you that it was a thing. But why would Puffy and Gene Deal doesn't? That's Gene Deal's theory based on what happened. Puff Daddy never told him that. Gene Deal just was like, "Come on now, why wouldn't he do it from Bad Boy?" He was like, "Cause it would look weird." So he had L.A. Reid sign him, and that's how they funded the money. That's just his interpretation. He never got it from Puff Daddy. He was Puff Daddy bodyguard. And he ain't got the story.
So says that, quote, Mr. Combs also informed me that only poor people pay taxes. He shared that it is a common practice in the music industry to wire money from anonymous accounts overseas. This way, if there is ever a need to take care of a problem, it would never be traced back to him. These accounts were in Germany.
Only poor people pay taxes.
Very end of the document, Jones says, quote, I could share other things, but I do not feel comfortable putting them in this document. I will be willing to discuss them with the court under seal to preserve my Fifth Amendment rights. Now, a lot to take in there. This just doubles down my belief that he is a cooperating witness with the government in this potential criminal investigation. I have to believe it. And if he is one of the witnesses that's cooperating, and federal authorities raided these...
They can't cooperate nothing he's fucking saying.
Properties, they have to be taking what he's saying is true, and maybe they're corroborating what he is saying through evidence that was seized from Combs' properties. Okay, so a lot to take in, but we also want to tell you quickly about a new letter that Jones' attorney filed with the court after accusations that this attorney was being too salacious with his court filings. I'm talking about Tyrone Blackburn. He's one of the lawyers representing Rodney Jones and Grace O'Markey in their lawsuits against Sean Combs, Christian Combs, and others. United States District Court Judge for the Southern District of New York, Denise Cote, submitted a referral to the New York Federal Court Grievance Committee claiming that issues with Blackburn in 5 cases. She wrote, quote, significant resources have been spent by judges of the court and defendants named in actions he has filed to address glaring deficiencies in his filings. A referral to this court's grievance committee is warranted. She goes on to write, a reasonable inference from Blackburn's pattern of behavior is that he improperly files cases in federal court to garner media attention, embarrass defendants with salacious allegations, and pressure defendants to settle quickly. Indeed, his submissions to this court have been rife with disturbing allegations against the defendants and defense counsel. Now, other lawyers have also criticized Mr. Blackburn as well. Combs' attorney Sean Hawley alleged that Blackburn ignored exonerating evidence, writing, quote, our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones' attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored, as Mr. Blackburn refuses to return our calls. We will address these outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate action against those who make them.
Which is why they are trying to settle with this thing.
Then, attorneys for UMG, Universal Music Group, one of the defendants who are also being sued by Rodney Jones, for their alleged participation and facilitation of the abuse and trafficking claimed by Jones. They argued, UMG, that the claims presented by Jones were, quote, so offensively false. One of those lawyers, Donald Karen, said, quote, a license to practice law is a privilege. Mr. Blackburn, plaintiff's lawyer, has misused that license to self-promote, gratuitously, falsely, and recklessly accusing the UMG defendants of criminal behavior. Well, Mr. Blackburn is firing back. He is not taking that lying down. No, he wrote a letter to Judge J. Paul Oaken, a judge for the Southern District of New York, where Jones' lawsuit against Combs is currently filed. And he begins by saying, quote, at the onset, I apologize for wasting the court's time by having to read a letter that has nothing to do with the matters before your honor. He goes on to say that the defendants have, quote, decided to scrummage through Pacer, that, by the way, is the online court record, in search of anything to distract and deflect from the blatantly obvious fact that they cannot defend their actions as it relates to their business partnership with Sean Combs. He continued, quote, I do not improperly file cases in federal court to garner media attention, embarrass defendants with salacious allegations, and pressure defendants to settle quickly. I gain no benefit from filing cases in federal court over state court, and I am not an ambulance-chasing attorney who lives in front of a camera. Before filing any case, I always provide an opportunity for private resolution. If this case cannot be resolved privately, then I file. I do not pursue media attention. With this case alone,
which meant he tried to talk to Diddy to see if he could get this settled out of court. And Diddy said, nope, do what you gotta do. They already talking about me any damn way. But keep in mind, not one charge, criminal charge has been filed against him. They did their investigation. It's been about 3 weeks ago. Still no charges. You better know that everything that they retrieved out of their computers, hard drives and shit, they've been working on that shit right on the clock. They got somebody always looking at this shit. Still no charges. Not a one.
I have been inundated with invitations to appear on television shows, podcasts, and radio shows, both nationally and internationally, and I have rejected them all. Then he says this, bold and underlined, quote,
yeah, because you don't want to stand up to how they going to be like, bro, you a grown-ass man. You was scared of this nigga? You don't want to answer the hard-hitting questions. How you say this nigga raped you in February and then said he promised you shit to keep you active, but then you was there when Cass found her up after he raped.
One of the things that we called out in the complaint is how there were these screenshots of videos, photos, copies of text, receipts for trips, and so forth. Blackburn goes on to end the letter with, quote, finally, a referral is not a sanction. My pleadings in this district have consistently comported with the standard established pursuant to Rule 8 of the FRCP and the standard established by the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. If defendants are concerned about having a salacious claim filed against them, they should not engage in salacious acts. It was the defendant's choice to
stuff months ago, and let's wind it out and air it out at that point in time. Okay, so I'm going to ask the state their issue on this. Are you cutting this out? Did you have discussions with Mr. Sharp, madam?
We did have discussions.
When?
Oh, this morning.
That's too late. The evidence is excluded. The evidence is excluded. I'm going to exclude because I told you that this was going to happen.
We reached out.
No. We're excluding that, and I'm going to exclude the PowerPoint that.
Today, I reached telephone and called.
Of trial while the jury's sitting in a box. This is the last. I am not gonna tolerate this any further. If you don't get together with your colleagues and flag issues and resolve them, I can exclude them. We'll work the weekends, or we'll do a combination of both. So this time, I'm gonna exclude those two sections.
Yeah, Mr. Atkins.
His muscle in front of the cameras. Hey, Leah, he is flexing his muscles.
Not ready, and you have made, and you, no. Well, Mr. Sharp's got objections to it.
So, Judge, Mr. Sharp can get in and have our evidence excluded every day that he makes an objection at midnight, and then comes in and says.
Well, then you all should have gotten your stuff together before then. Some of our juries, please. Some of our juries. Have a seat, madam. Have a seat. You better exclude it, and next time, make sure you're prepared.
Oh shit! Uncle Phil said you better exclude that shit, motherfucker. Ooh.
And you all should have gotten your stuff together before then. Some of our juries, please. Some of our juries. Have a seat, madam.
Ooh, that woman mad the motherfucker. She probably cussed him out the rest of the day in her head. And she ain't got no power. If she go too far, this nigga can lock her up. Damn it! Why won't it play?
And have our evidence excluded every day that he makes an objection at midnight, and then comes in and says.
Well, then you all should have gotten your stuff together before then. Some of our juries, please. Some of our juries. Have a seat, madam. Have a seat. You better exclude it, and next time, make sure you're prepared. Make sure you're prepared next time. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just not. We are starting right now. It's 1:20. So
talk to them. We have said we don't agree.
Then file a motion and get it before me, and we'll take it up. Both of you all have equally responsibility to do that. Oh, it's going to be inadmissible right now.
You said to file a motion. There's nothing.
I'm not gonna have any more discussion about this, madam. I'm not. I don't. Well, you know what? Well, then that's why we have to.
Punishes the state because the defense.
I'm not punishing anybody, but prior preparation prevents poor performance.
That's why I sent them when I sent them last week. A whole week and a half ago, 2 weeks.
No, she did say a whole week. Oh, it's ghetto. It is ghetto in the courtroom.
I said I'd like to discuss.
Our jury's coming in, madam. Our jury's coming in. Have a seat.
Next. That's how court started off. Now we about to hear how court ended. Same day. And he told her to shut the fuck up and get back to work.
Let me cover a couple of things before we deal with Mr. Steele's motion. Let me number 50, which Ms. Weaver's already been included on, and I will include his next court exhibit in order the email as well as the motion. Here's the problem, as I keep telling you all, and I just try to say this as artfully as I can, but The
judge needs some pussy. He's angry.
Challenge that we've been having thus far is that while you all are advocates and think that your position is one that you may be able to introduce evidence, if there is a disagreement, I have to take it up. The problem is that this evidence or information has existed in discovery for the longest period of time. And what irritates the court is that I have to keep stopping. It's not personal irritation or otherwise. It's just that I've told you many times before that this jury in the box, we should present and try and minimize disruptions. This afternoon, this morning, was an exercise in disruption. So if you don't want me to exclude your evidence, then the 4-1 judge is a happy judge, means that you file something or you bring it to my attention way before the witness sits on the stand, and I have to kind of go through edits. So to that point, I mean, I can't make it any clearer. And you all are really trying to work yourselves into working on the weekend, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to get through this stuff, is that I'm going to have to excuse this jury and we're going to work on the weekend to get this done. So be it. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But I can't keep stopping in front of this jury and taking up things that you all should have forecasted as a problem. What I mean by that, I don't get represents from the state of Georgia. Judge, we're going to go ahead and introduce his PowerPoint or whatever. We have some concerns. We brought them to the defense's issue. And here's the things that we were not able to work out. Because remember, you all are seasoned advocates. This is not your first trial. It's not like you don't know what you think is going to be admissible or not. And if you're uncertain about it, that's why you file a motion to eliminate. The defense has done so on many occasions. But you all drive the kind of the train in this, because if you don't present it, then a lot of times they won't know that there's a problem. Or, as I mentioned earlier, the exhibit changes or you add additional things and they don't have the opportunity to take it up. That's why I'm telling you that it's a problematic issue. So that's what I mean by being forewarned. If you don't talk to your opposing side about this, that's where you're going to run into problems. Because I'm just going to start saying, well, if you haven't talked about it, it hasn't been presented to me, and the jury's sitting in the box, I'm going to exclude it. At this point in time, I am very frustrated, to say the least. And I'm just telling you that being forewarned is more than just 10 minutes before we go out, or coming early or staying late. There are some 30 people that have to get in this particular spot in one time. And I can't blame you all, and I won't blame you all, because the law doesn't prevent me to do that, for not being in the proper place and space you're supposed to. There are a lot of things that happen, because all of us have been, and the court is very sensitive, having been a trial advocate going from courthouse to courthouse, parking lot to parking lot. I understand what it takes to get in this courthouse in the morning. But you all have to be here a lot earlier, and you need to be sitting in your places. We need to be waiting on them, shouldn't be waiting on you. There are at least 6 sets of lawyers that have to get here. And you all should not be just sitting down when I get here. If I tell you to be here at a particular time, please be here and be in place so that I can go ahead and start. Because we eat up time that way. And I just don't know what else to tell you all. But I'm trying to be as patient as I can. But I'm at a loss for words at this point in time, because I have said this over and over and over again. So if you don't want to see contempt, if you don't want to see us working on the weekends, then please change what you're doing. And Mr. Starr, the inquiry I made this morning is a valid inquiry. None of you would do this if you were in the United States District Court. None of you. My colleagues in federal court would probably jail most of you. And for those of you that have practiced in federal court, this is not the way it goes.
Jail them for ejecting?
From the state's perspective, as well as the defense perspective. Everything's filed in advance. So why should you do anything less than in this courtroom? I don't see the same level of professionalism and attentive.
It's not the federal courtroom, it's the state, Your Honor.
This that you all need to do in terms of getting issues fleshed out. It's last minute. That's not fair to anybody. I got a rule on it. I really want to get it right for everyone. I'm the gatekeeper. I have no interest in the case other than see it's fairly tried. But things have got to change. That's why I asked that to you, Mr. Sharp, this morning. It wasn't for any other reason, because some of this stuff I'm just at a loss for. You all are seasoned advocates. It should not make a difference whether or not somebody brought it up or who said what. If you know it's going to be an issue, flag it, present it, and let me deal with it, or let me carve out a day so I can go ahead and deal with it. I can't deal with this as a witness on the stand. That's not right. So that's why I asked you that this morning. So in the interest of trying to kind of get it right, please just modify your habits in terms of stop this last minute stuff. All
right. Now we're going to what they did today.
And the person who came forward on the night that Diamond Thomas was killed, without saying what they said, who was that person?
Kenneth Copeland.
Kenneth Copeland snitched. That's Woody.
A member of YSL was driving on the highway, and members of his gang shot his vehicle.
Day 63 and 64 of the Young Thug YSL RICO trial were tedious. The judge allows a Daubert hearing to occur with the jury present in the courtroom. Then the Thug and Future album covers misinterpreted by the detective and the state again. Later in this video, I don't know why the state keeps bringing up this album cover. They say this album cover is taunting their rival gang, but it's literally not. It's Future's logo and Thug's logo put together for a collab mixtape. The lawyers even laugh because they're like, oh, this is going to be so easy to defend. Hit the join button down below. It's only 10 cents per day. I really appreciate support. Hit subscribe. Here we go. First look at Thug on day 63. Get the turtleneck going again.
We have nothing from the state about the initial statement. It's my position. It doesn't come in. This is the issue we raised with the bench. Mr. Murphy said that he's in fear. Specifically said this has nothing to do with Jeffrey Williams. We didn't cover that already, though? Yes, okay. It's excluded. But now I'm saying the state wants to play all three statements. In addition to that, they did not remove, to my knowledge, Jacoby Hudson's statements.
Redacted, like we discussed in court yesterday.
Okay, so has the corresponding video also been edited?
So because the video is choppy, what the state will do is, since we have to play the evidence reviewer, we're going to mute the portions that are redacted, because if you saw yesterday, the video is choppy, so we don't have a redacted video. But
I'm not casting any blame. Got the cheat sheet at 8:20 this morning. So, no, I'm not agreeing with it. But this muting in front of the jury, you're hiding information from the jury. They should. These statements work. They don't know what the purpose is, other than they're not playing it. So, the video is played at all. Okay, you've said that already. They have a witness who can testify if it is a prior consistent statement. The state's putting in things that are not prior consistent statements. My issue is the video is more than impeachment.
The video has talk of way more than just impeaching Walter DK. It's like about other crimes and shit that's not necessary.
I just want to be clear that I do not believe it's impeachment by contradiction.
Okay, well, that I understand.
Okay,
that's your position. Okay, all right. So
already the first hour of this day is them arguing about the same statements they were arguing about yesterday.
I don't believe it says it's done in front of the jury. It said it wasn't done at all. You have the discretion to find someone.
There was no pre-admission. It was done in front of the jury.
I'm objecting to it being done in front of the jury. I'm objecting not to have Daubert outside of the jury. I just have a continuing objection because I don't want to do this in front of the jury.
Why is the judge letting a Daubert hearing happen in front of the jury? A Daubert hearing, to dumb it down, is basically analyzing if an expert is truly an expert.
Hold on, people.
The field, and they want to do that in front of the jury. Right now, I think they're doing a Daubert hearing on Detective Gaither, which is one of the detectives in this case.
How long did you work in office?
Almost 19 years. Please tell the jury where you're originally from.
Chicago, Illinois. My neighborhood, it was Gangster Disciples and Black Disciples, where I went to school.
They're bringing Detective Gaither as a gang expert. This is a tweet right here to break it down. It's kind of funny. If you need more proof that the YSL trial is a kangaroo court, here it is. The judge is doing a Dauber hearing in presence of the jury. The whole point of such hearing is to determine if scientific evidence should be heard by the jury. This is absurd, next level clown court. That should be the subject of an emergency appeal and shut down immediately.
Now, were you afraid to interact with them when you were growing up with your friends and family who were involved with gangs?
Like 5 lawyers said objection relevance there.
Back then in the 80s and 90s, the thing was,
Brian Steele's deep breath after he overrules objection from the 80s and 90s.
How about in terms of socioeconomic status? How would you describe the evil area you grew up in as compared to the evil area?
Objection relevance.
Why are we talking about in Chicago right now? Like,
was it your testimony that the Mechanicsville, Pittsburgh, and Bill Avenue area is something? I'm trying to get clear.
I'll overrule the objection, sir.
Judges overruled literally 15 objections in the defense in about 8 minutes.
Again, being proactive, doing drop-ins at our local businesses. We would respond to areas that were considered hotspots within the zones.
So it's all very boring, but they're just certifying her as an expert. Don't know why they're doing it in front of the jury, but it's just everything she knows about gangs in Atlanta, Chicago, blah, blah.
It's relevant, establishing background, juror has to gauge.
I'll stay the objection.
Sustained?
I'm overruling the objection.
Thank you.
Miss Love was just like, wait, you sustained it? No, you're overruling it.
Just the basic gang identifiers, how to recognize a gang, crimes that gangs generally committed, basically what the state considered to be a gang, and what particular crimes or activities were considered criminal street gang activity.
It's relevant.
For background.
It's relevant, sir. I'm going to overrule your objection, okay? You may have a continued objection, sir.
I'd rather be dead than be in this jury. Straight up. Kill me. Okay, maybe a little bit of an over-exaggeration.
The involvement that we had within the community, just talk to people and ask, what does that mean? They were pretty proud about, telling us what it was and what it meant.
You're not asking us to listen.
I'm going to overrule the objection. Overrule.
You said that they would talk to you?
Overrule, sir.
I mean, she is repeating testimony.
Did you arrest people for using certain hashtags?
Yes, ma'am.
You arrest someone, unknown person, doing something from a no sign.
You're not object.
She's got to lay a foundation, so you can object. I'll go ahead and make a continued objection, okay? Sir.
Man, this judge is not fucking with the defense at all. Everybody on the defense. There's 5 different lawyers in there defending their clients, standing up saying, "Oh, objection, overruled.
Rule, sir.
And then he wondered why they put a last minute shit. They getting your ass back for turning down all their objections.
Judges overruling everything the defense says, bro.
Language that was used by groups of people consistently that was sort of different from the average.
I'll sustain as to leading. The other 2 I'll overrule.
We've received information from Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, made really early on when a person was arrested. The calls that were made from intake, they're labeled as intake.
Objection, Your Honor. I'll overrule the objection, sir.
Much contact. How many self-identified gang members did you have contact with during your time in the gang? Just outside of arrests, just normal.
There will be complication clause 10.
I'm not asking her what anybody.
I'll overrule the objection, sir.
And you're not, as far as a foundation for what we're doing.
Yes.
We're not doing anything.
Just please don't do. Okay, don't speak your objection. Give me a basis now. Okay.
Ask for it. Specifically,
okay, as far as foundation, I'm going to overrule your objections.
With a group calling itself Young Limelight or YSL.
Yes.
Do you recall when it was that you became aware of the existence?
Finally, something about YSL being brought up.
Roughly 2013, essentially already on the radar from its affiliation with Race on Cleveland, Rock Crew. And we began to see the members we had previously identified as members of Rock Crew were now claiming YSL Young Limelight. So, they had already been on the radar. It's just we hadn't heard of the name Young Slime Life before. Early on in Young Slime Life, we investigated numerous crimes from robberies to auto thefts. Rock Crew were responsible for quite a few ATM thefts in the city. Smash and grab ATM thefts. When I first met Mr. Williams, 2012.
And the only thing redacted is the exculpatory statement when Mr. Walter Murphy, which you excluded already, said that you're not going to kill for this, but it doesn't involve Jeffrey Williams. I remember I told you yesterday that you were welcome. You have a differing opinion than Mr. Sharp does, and you may get into that particular issue. That has nothing to do with Jeffrey Williams. The only thing that they redacted is this is nothing to do with Jeffrey Williams. So the whole thing should be out. Those are
Damn, he said it ain't got nothing to do with Jeffrey Williams, and the only thing that's been redacted.
I remember I told you yesterday that you were welcome. You have a differing opinion than Mr. Shark does, and you may get into that particular issue.
That has nothing to do with Jeffrey Williams. The only thing that they redacted is this is nothing to do with Jeffrey Williams. So
that's the only thing that's been redacted out of this statement is this has nothing to do with Jeffrey Williams, when it actually doesn't have anything to do with Young Thug, but that's the only thing that's redacted out. So with that being redacted out, it makes it look like he's tied into it when that should be in there, that this ain't got nothing to do with him.
Should be out. Those are hearsay. It doesn't matter what the detective asks. It's the answer of Mr. Murphy that would be inconsistent if it is inconsistent. So I just don't want to waste the time. That's what I was trying to do this morning. Just a lot of time consumption that I'm objecting again to everything being played the way I think the state is being trying to play it.
As a matter of fact, on the stand, Mr. Murphy testified that if he didn't remember what he said in the July 15th interview in 2015, but he knows the only thing he was afraid of was going to jail because he had been false flagging as a blood. He made that assertion numerous times on the record, and we never said that he was talking or pointing to Jeffrey Williams, so that assertion is actually kind of confusing an issue that is not a real issue. We're not trying to say that Jeffrey Williams threatened Walter Murphy. We're saying that Walter Murphy had a reason for acting the way that he did, and that the jury is entitled to see his asserted reasons that he didn't deny on the stand.
But the state has objected. The only part, after you said how you get told this, he said this had nothing to do with Jeffrey. I don't know how. Somehow that's the only part that is redacted.
Yeah, why? They're like picking and choosing what they're redacting in the tapes. This is so stupid. Today was pointless. 4 hours of court and it was pointless. Like literally pointless. So I'm going to go into day 64 now. First look at Thug on day 64. Bro wearing camo shorts or pants with a green cardigan and a green tie.
We see them on music videos. There were several artists within Atlanta Blood Gang, ABG, that would make music videos as well as like behind the scene vlogs that captured, everything that was going on during the making of the video. You would see Mr. Williams, Jeffrey Williams in the video, Mr. Trontavious Stevens, Donovan Thomas.
And was Shannon Stillwell and Kenneth Copeland involved for 30 at the same time?
Yes.
At what point did you see the relationship between the two groups change at all?
I first noticed late 2014, members of ABG, If Gang go one way, and then the guys from YSL Rock Group go their separate ways. So as far as when they fell out, I don't know. When I first noticed it was late 2014. The two groups, we no longer see the two groups hanging with each other. It appeared to be some sort of conflict or beef.
She's trying to bring up the murder of Donovan Thomas right now.
First time was obviously 2015 when homicide occurred. But once the homicide occurred, we had to go backwards to kind of try to find a starting point.
That homicide that you're talking about, who was that?
Donovan Thomas, January 10th, 2015. We were immediately notified of the homicide of Donovan Thomas the night that it happened, just based on his involvement with Inglewood family Bloods. To my knowledge, he was a ranking member of Inglewood family Bloods here in Atlanta. Witness there, I guess, telling his side of the story to homicide, and he had requested for us, myself, investigative Dennis, to come in.
And the person who came forward on the night that Donovan Thomas was killed, without saying what they said, who was that person?
Kenneth Copeland.
Kenneth Copeland snitched. That's Woody.
Did you and Dennis speak with Kenneth Copeland that night?
Yes.
Did you all speak with him later on again about similar matters without talking about legislation?
Yeah, Miss Love, why are you bringing that up? That's a good sidebar request right there from Brian Steele.
As related to the murder, he kind of gave us insight on. After receiving some information, I began to look for calls for service, which are 911 calls placed October 2014 up until the date of Mr. Thomas being killed, which was January. Yes, areas that were told by us by Mr. Copeland. There were locations that Mr. Copeland gave us.
Those damage to property calls that you began looking into after the Donovan Thomas murder have any connection with the damage to property calls that we talked about yesterday that you began looking closer at once you gained a better understanding of certain gangs?
The longest question of all time, Miss Love, trying to connect random shootings to the Donovan Thomas murder.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, her own witness was like, what the fuck? Longest question ever.
Roughly the very next day after Mr. Thomas's murder, we began to get drive-by shootings left and right. I mean, they were coming in at a very high speed.
Anyone associated with either YSL or Get Gang?
That would be unfixable.
I'm not asking what you said.
Both sides, YSL and If Gang, their family members or friends or locations where they were known to frequent, we would see retaliatory shootings at both residences. There were posts from both YSL and also If Gang disrespecting each other online.
Were there members of If Gang who were also involved?
Yes.
Who were some of them?
YFN Lucci. His real name is Rayshawn Bennett, probably the most popular rapper within If Gang. Rich Homie Quan. The ATF definitely assisted us with analyzing shell casings, which were placed into NIBIN. So when the shooting occurs, we recover any type of ballistics evidence. The ATF kind of spearheaded our progression, getting the results back in a faster manner.
How many shootings did you determine flow from or happen as a result of the murder foundation?
How is she allowed to even answer that or ask that question? Like, what? How do we know these shootings are related?
One in particular was between Mr. Kenneth Copeland, aka Woody, Lil Woody, and the other one was with Kelvin Watts, known as Shell Kel. Kelvin Watts was a member of If Gang and Woody YSL.
Did any other members of YSL get involved in that conflict that occurred with Kenneth Copeland?
What are these questions, Miss Love? All right,
I
I'm
said
leaning back
if
right now
NBA
because this
Youngboy
shit is
makes
so
fun,
boring. I'm chilling, dude. I don't care. I can't lean forward for this.
They said if he makes fun, he is getting picked up and extradited by the feds back to Baton Rouge.
There was an album cover of Mr. Williams with reference to Bird Gang, with a snake going through the eyes and the head of the bird, which we knew represented what I knew.
Hold on. Why are they bringing this up again? There's no way they're bringing this up again. They're bringing up the Future and Thug album cover and then trying to say the snake was wrapped around the hawk or the bird or whatever, and that was like them taunting at their rival gang, but it's really just Future's record label logo. That's why Max Shart right here is smiling, because he knows. Watch.
Bird Gang with a snake going through the eyes and the head of
look,
the bird, which we knew represented what I knew.
Max Shart smiling like a motherfucker. Can't wait for cross-examination on that.
Based upon previous police reports and interviews of the police, we knew the conflict going on between the two groups. The album cover was released to the general public. It just looked like a snake with a bird going through, but there was significance to us and what we knew regarding two groups, that it was a form of disrespect to If Gang, ADG, Bird Gang.
Literally just Future's record label. It's a collab mixtape. This is the cover art. And this is your supposed gang expert right here, completely misinterpreting an album cover in front of a jury when this guy's life is on the line. Oh, yep, they're showing it now. You gotta be trolling. The snake is clearly YSL Thug and Future's FBG logo right here.
What did you say that this image was?
Oh, this is cumulative. They've already brought this up once before in front of the jury. This is literally cumulative. I don't know why that was overruled.
And is the snake alive or dead?
Objection. Basis. Speculation. Oh,
Looks to be alive and well.
What about the bird? Would you trace the image of the bird?
Near of it to here, around to the beak.
Now, is the bird alive or dead?
objection. Basis. That's evidence. Oh.
Where's evidence?
Oh, so they're pointing out that it looks dead. That it's them dissing their rival gang. No, artists have dead imagery all the time in their artwork.
You talked about Rich Homie Quan. Did he do music as well?
Yes.
And did you know him at some point to do music with the defendant Jeffrey Williams?
Yes.
Was that prior to or before October 2014?
I believe it was roughly around the same time.
Did you ever notice a parking basis because?
You're said. Application policy. Speculation. Did you not discover?
I can rephrase.
Oh, that's all.
Did you ever notice a parking basis between Rich Homie Quan and defendant Jeffrey Williams?
Question. Oh.
Yes.
At what time?
Maybe mid 2015. Myself and my unit, we were obviously monitoring both sides of the parties, including media outlets that made it known of.
And you're talking about what?
She responded to me. She responded to me. Oh, sit down, please.
Have you heard references in YSL songs released by members of YSL, to persons who are a member of the gang after the death of Donald Trump? Your Honor, is she herself murdered? And she
I sustain the objection. You probably need to relate on the foundation.
that refers to or related to conflict between YSL and the gang.
Sir.
Damn.
Brian's still going through it right now. Look at this, man. This judge is just overruling everything.
We would see members from both gangs posting disrespectful messages toward each other, tagging each other in posts, just so the other person know that they're speaking on them. I do recall a post of, just as an example, a member of YSL was driving on the highway and members of If Gang shot his vehicle, basically chased him down. The following day, members of If Gang posted, just had a shootout on the highway.
How old the objection, sir?
He was hanging out the window, shooting the firearm.
Oh, sir.
To my knowledge, we knew them as Inglewood Family Bloods. Some members refer to themselves as Haiti Gang. One of the most notable persons was the rapper YSL RICO. I observed him exit the passenger side of a white Dodge Nitro, exit a vehicle with a large assault rifle in his hand.
You're just going over Walter Murphy's attempted murder situation.
I am challenging the ability of a lay witness who was not present at the scene to narrate this video, because the video speaks for itself. The jurors are able to analyze the video and take from the video what they may, and they are in the exact same position. Detective Gaither, who was like them, was not present at the scene. Now, Walter Murphy, I asked him about things. He was actually present. It is outside the scope of lay testimony to narrate this video for the jurors. Again, I don't have a problem with identifying people, but then to go and then this person did this and this person did that.
Judge, I believe that Mr. Sharp forgets that he asked Walter Murphy about what was happening before that Nitro ever even showed up. Sharp specifically, and I thought it was kind of humorous, at one point asked, is this woman pumping gas? Walter Murphy wasn't on the scene. He hadn't even pulled up yet. And here he is asking Walter Murphy, did Tina Clark pump gas? And I believe that this is a competent witness to talk about anything that she chooses.
Unless you got some case law, I'm overruling objection, okay?
All these lawyers are objecting to this detective narrating and talking over this video. Like the video can't speak for itself.
It's of the sort of drop.
You're objecting to cases. What's the basis of your objection to?
The Detective Gaither's not there. How can she testify to this video?
And what is he doing at 21:43?
He's attempting to conceal the rifle into his jacket. Walter Murphy began to run towards the blue vehicle with the assault rifle drawn.
And that's it. Today was a half day. That's why there's 2 days in one video. Very tedious. This detective is apparently a gang expert, and I've never liked that. But I mean, this is a RICO trial, but like, I feel like it's dumb to say you're a gang expert and then get shit wrong. Blows my mind with how pointless some of this is, bro. Like, just show us the hard evidence. Hit subscribe, join the channel membership, only 10 cents per day. I really appreciate the support. I love you guys. Peace out.
Well, then you. Okay, wait. Okay, Atlanta woman discovers her husband.
A lot of these dudes in
getting
life,
his cheeks clapped. And did the unexpected. I don't know what the unexpected is, but I was clickbaited in.
Thing I can say to anybody out there that's listening, please be careful. And whatever you do, stay away from the city of Atlanta. Because they are beyond walking amongst us.
A few moments later.
Say hi, Mr. McKinley. Mr. McKinley. Right.
This nigga must not have knew she told the world he was gay.
He did. So if you don't know, my name is April. I have been...
This is woman finds out her husband is down low and has HIV and still stays with him.
With my husband now for going on 10 years. We've been married going on 3.
Lucha is in jail, but he'll be getting out.
And I am currently HIV.
He should be getting out April or May. He finally got his case settled. He only had to do a couple more months.
It's been a battle so far. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Finding out his sexuality, going through the stress and drama of all the extra stuff that he has going on the side, plus the HIV. I'm married to, I've known for 10 years. We got back together August the 4th, 2017. And we've been together since. And I promise y'all, he knew that he had HIV when me and him got back together. We didn't get married till January the 9th, 2018. A whole almost year later. Somebody I've known. Somebody who I thought cared about me. His mom knew his status. I'm pretty sure grandma did too. I've talked to Special Victims Unit, Fulton County detectives, You know what they've told me? I have a decision to make. Whether I want to love and care about this person, or do I really want to love and care about this person and see him behind bars and protect other people? You all have to understand to protect yourselves. It doesn't matter who it is. I have learned in the Black community, the Black gay community, bisexual community, I don't tell you guys my story and warn you or say these type of things to be mean, hurtful towards anybody. Lord knows I care about everybody.
Man, listen, Atlanta is crazy, isn't it? Like, she really stayed with dude after all this time. They broke up, got back together. She knew that buddy was getting his cheeks clapping cheeks, has all this crazy stuff, and she has a decision to make from speaking with Fulton County, whether she wants to prosecute or basically press charges or whatever have you in reference to what buddy doing. Baby, this dude has to be stopped. Let's get on to the next clip. Let's go.
So this is an update on my marriage. I'm married in Atlanta. So far, we are moving forward from finding out that he is HIV positive, as well as homosexual, as well as... How do you literally walk around with HIV, syphilis, and herpes, knowingly, and still be out here sleeping with other people, unprotected, even protected? Really? Oh my God. This is ridiculous, y'all. So I went on my husband's HAF portal, which is AIDS Health Foundation. I got his last test results. Mind you, being married to this man, I should have gotten some of these results myself, let alone, they should have called me and said, hey, we might need you to come down.
No, that's not how it works.
To get tested because he came back
now
positive.
They're supposed to tell you. Now they could have, if he gave you a number, then they could have called you and told you got tested, but no, they don't give you his test results, ma'am. That's how this works out. Infamous. She said I don't know what the fuck they did before, but she said they got back together in 2017. And when she got back together with him, she knew he had HIV, and they remarried in 2018. And she just said, how you walk around here still sleeping with people the same way you is, ma'am.
For the shit. But yet, no. On his paperwork, it says single. So because of that, they don't have to notify anybody. I am so pissed right now. Mind you, we go to the same doctor. We have the same last name. We go to the doctor all the time together. So for them to write him up as single, it just pisses me off. It just lets me know, one, he's the one who put single. I refuse to be a victim. You're not going to walk around here with HIV, herpes, and syphilis and be giving it to people, let alone me. I am so pissed right now.
What you mean, let alone you? You said you knew the nigga had AIDS when you reconnected in 2017 and you still married him a year later. Shut the fuck up and get back to work. Or you mad about the other two? You was cool with the AIDS. You just, the syphilis and the herpes is a deal breaker, huh?
Glad I can't.
I just had a point. I'm gonna share this video. This woman don't look like shit, by the way. Let me share this now. She don't look like shit. That explains why she stayed. And how she ain't know this nigga was gay is beyond me.
Contact him or nothing at this moment, because it doesn't make any sense for somebody to really want to hurt somebody. But yet you love me. Ain't even checked your status. Thank God you're considered undetectable right now. One less thing to worry about. I'm over it, guys. I am so over the bullshit. Come on. Care about
your... He undetectable. That means he'll survive.
Self, man. And I'm looking at the medications and I'm like, he's got oral thrush right now. This opportunistic diseases and crazy shit. Which means you're going into the stage of AIDS. AIDS, man. You don't care. Don't care. Don't care about me. Care about the family we've built. The children who love you. You just don't care. No, life is precious. It's important. We only got.
You know he don't care because just like you said, he going to the stages. He know this shit. He know he bad. He living it up.
So why not care about yourself? Care about your health. Really?
But JR, it's a skit. I don't know if this is a skit or not. I know she's got quite a few videos on this where she talks about this. I know you guys want to get the backstory, so I'm just starting this video recording. I'll probably fill it in the beginning where you guys have already saw it. If not, I'll plug it in right here for you guys to watch before we watch the rest. HIV, herpes, and syphilis. Those are the heavy hitters right there when it comes to stuff. That's definitely not what you want. But I guess if you're staying married, that means you're saying luckily he's undetectable, which I guess you still gonna let him clap the cheeks with all this stuff. Taking a chance with herpes and syphilis is a thing in itself, but you're like, thank goodness he's undetectable. You staying married as long as he's not getting any anymore. I guess because people were in the comments saying, why are you staying with a man? He's unfaithful and he's bisexual and he's doing all these different things. So man, you can't even call that a triple threat. That's one of the triple threat. But we're gonna finish out this clip. This is crazy. This is bananas. And it wouldn't be right if I didn't mention upon it. So she's making these faces, not dolled up or nothing, as a lot of you ladies would have something to say about it. Y'all gonna be like, well, that's why he cheated, JR. But anyway, let's get back to it. Let's go.
I am just so pissed right now, guys. It doesn't make any kind of sense. I want to cry because it's like, I'm the only one who cares. Only one. And you have a nerve to come to me saying you want your family back and how much you love me and this, that, and a third. But I don't have anything right now. So for me to believe you've been faithful, it's like something done. Doing the right thing ain't hard, guys. It don't cost you a thing, nothing. Just do the right thing. Be fucking normal. I'm so
you respect the nigga that came back to you telling you he had been sleeping with men to be normal.
That right now, because it doesn't make any sense for somebody to literally go around and hurt other people and think that shit's okay. I'm done ranting for today, at least to you all. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Today is October the 5th. Disclose his status. It's not a crime. So in the LGBT community, for some reason, they hide this stuff, guys. Like, there's apps on here now. One app is called Hope and everything else. I mean, y'all check y'all men's phone. Y'all think this is like crazy, but I'm telling y'all, like, you'd be surprised how many men are out here actually sleeping with men. Y'all think it's, oh, well, not all men are bisexual or gay. And that is true. Not all men are. But a lot of them are. A lot of them are, quote unquote, in the closet or bisexual, and they're just not willing to admit it to you. One, because you're going to think they're nasty or they're this and they're that when they do the same thing that y'all do.
Man, that's terrible. In Atlanta, and I know she's in Atlanta, from what I've seen on another clip. It's probably on some of the clips I have here. But a lot of these dudes will defend this stuff and think it's just cool. Want to have a woman as a beard for the appearances of wanting to have to uphold, not living in their truth, but they just want to have a beard to make it look for all intents and purposes. But that other video I did previously about the guy who says that he has the right, which a lot of these dudes say that he has the right to have condomless sex, even though he's HIV positive, if you will. He said he has the right and nobody's gonna tell him about his health, which I thought was crazy in itself with him saying that, which I'll link the video and you guys can check it out at the end if it doesn't pop up here on the screen. But this is pretty common. I think it's almost as if a lot of these dudes end up doing time. But I watched a lot of true crime. There was one story, and to go back to what she said in terms of it being reported, whatever it is that AHF or CDC, I do know that you have to disclose, or you're supposed to tell all the partners who you've been with since the diagnosis, who may have caused it, who you may have contracted it from. You have an obligation to tell them. This one in particular, and you guys probably seen it, this woman, she married, I think it's Sweet Bleak that got married. She married this French guy, and he was dealing with tons of women, even afterwards. And that she didn't want to deal with him anymore. He was still slaying women. And she made it a point to be like a crusader, if you will, and contact all the women that he was sleeping with after her. And they finally got him, I think he finally got arrested for doing that. But it's dudes that basically like, I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna get mine off. I'm gonna do my thing, and that's just what it is. But guys, let me know what you guys think about this crazy story. Have you heard of a story like this? Comment below. Like, share, comment.
All right, next we almost. It's like 4 more. Attorney, what is this? Las Vegas attorney kills two and they self in some.
Yeah, he was scared. They didn't know what was going on. They could hear, but they didn't know what was going on. So they were in a locked room and they were on lockdown.
A terrifying Monday morning in Summerlin as a man walks into an office building and opens fire. 2 people are dead and the gunman is as well. As the shooting put an entire community on edge and triggered a massive emergency response. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Vanessa Murphy.
I'm Brian Loftus. Sources identifying the victims as prominent lawyer Dennis Prince and his wife Ashley. All happened at a law office on West Charleston, right near Pavilion Center, prompting roadways to be shut down for hours. We are standing by for a live press conference. We'll bring it to you as soon as it's happened. They're starting now. Let's listen in.
We have a brief on the incidents that transpired here. I'm just conducting a follow-up briefing to clean up anything maybe that was left unanswered or different additional facts that we've learned since the initial briefing. I'll start from the beginning. Earlier today at approximately 10:04 a.m., we received a report of a shooting inside the City National Bank building located at 10,801 West Charleston, which is located directly behind me. Specifically, it was at the 5th floor. And during that initial broadcast, our officers responded to a report of shots fired and numerous gunshots in the building. Officers arrived on scene in very quick fashion. As the sheriff briefed earlier today, we treated it as an active shooter where we deployed multiple teams into the building along with fire department to see if there was an actual active shooter. Fortunately, we were able to see that the scene was located in in one specific suite, that's Suite 560, which is the Prince Law Group. As officers went into that suite, they located the scene of the shooting, and they located our 3 deceased victims. One deceased victim is a female in her 30s. Another one is a male in his 50s. Our suspect is also deceased here on scene, and he is a male in his 70s. What we learned from the initial briefing is very similar to what has already been reported on the papers, is that there were 7 people here taking part in a deposition inside the Prince Law Group. 3 of them represented one party, 3 of them represented the other part, and 1 was a court reporter. Shortly into the deposition, approximately 3 to 4 minutes, one of the suspects stood up and began opening fire on the 2 victims across the table from him. Unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, they are deceased. They're on scene here, and the suspect is deceased also. The other people who were in the room at the time of the shooting, thankfully, were able to quickly get away, call police, and everyone else has been cooperative and interviewed by police. Please keep them in their prayers, no matter what side of this table they are on at this time. This is a pretty traumatic event. and we believe there is no additional threats at this time based on any evidence we have. Our homicide team is on the scene. They're conducting their investigation. We'll be out here for an extended period of time as we conduct our investigation. Again, all the crime scene pretty much is located in Suite 560. Real quick, for all the people who go to work here at City National Bank, the building here, all of them were evacuated, and they did so very orderly, and they were able to move them over to the Red Rock Casino, who helped us out with containing all of them. We've been slowly but surely escorting people into the building so they can get their belongings and get their car that is here. The only issue is that they work at Suite 560, because then we have a little bit of a crime scene. We're trying to figure out another way to get people in there. But any other suites, if you're here, right where I'm briefing this, across the street from me, the entrance to the parking garage, you can go to those officers right there, approach them, tell them that you're here to pick up your property. They'll escort you into the building or escort you to your car to get it. Just please provide some type of credential
into the building and past any security measures.
I don't know right now specifically what security measures are at this building. To my preliminary walkthrough, I don't see a specific security desk or anything like that. It's believed that our suspect had it on him at the time he entered the building.
And then earlier they mentioned that they were investigating his car in the parking garage. What was found inside?
That was a preliminary investigation. So anytime you have a shooting like this, which is possible an active shooter when it first started, you're always going to be looking for the mode of transportation of how they got there, and then you're going to conduct your evidentiary search warrant to see if there's any evidence that was left inside of the car. Right now, there's nothing of note evidentiary-wise related to what we got in the car, but we have to go through our steps to ensure that. We got to make sure there's no secondary devices or anything that was left in the car, and then you have the evidentiary back for the criminal investigation. We are serving a search warrant right now, earlier today, and it's still going on right now, at our suspect's residence, which is located in the area of Buffalo and Desert Inn. Our teams are there right now, and we're doing a search there also for any evidence, anything that would explain motive. We believe we have a good idea of what the motive is right now, but anything confirming what that motive is.
Are you releasing the handle names?
I will not be releasing any of the names right now. That is done by the coroner. The coroner releases all information and identities of any victims or any deceased.
Can you tell us the information about what the meeting was that they were meeting here?
Based on what our interviews, they were here inside the law group going over doing a deposition hearing that had something that had to do with child custody. Specifically, I don't have all those details, but it had to do with a child custody deposition.
Children involved have been safe?
All children are accounted for, and all children are safe at this time. Was it a red Ford Expedition? Yeah, that was the vehicle that I answered the question about that we processed to make sure. Again, we're taking that to our lot where we're going to secure it for now until we know there's no other evidence related inside that.
You mentioned that they actually fled the room, the others in the room at some point. Was there any indication after the judgment that he was trying to target anybody else?
Based on what I have right now, it appears our two victims were the very specific targets. He actually shooed another victim away. So I get the impression that two victims were very much the intended target during this incident. The other victims that were in the room, everyone thankfully was able to flee further into the building to get away, and that's when we started getting our 911 phone calls. That will be part of our investigation. Definitively, we can't right now. Once we get our full scene processed and stuff moved out of the way, and we'll be able to go there. But there's still quite a bit of evidence collection that needs to take place.
Were the victims declared dead on the scene?
Yeah, everyone. There's nobody transported to a hospital. Everyone was declared deceased here on scene. All right.
The gun?
I don't have that information yet.
So if the building will be open for business?
I'm hoping to have this entire scene processed. At least the only thing I'm worried about is if Suite 560 will be shut down, but the rest of the building will be open up. If that's the case, we'll coordinate with building management and let them know, and we'll keep officers posted here overnight. It just depends on how far we get to tonight and if we need to continue into the morning.
Hearing there was a father involved in the child custody dispute. Where is that father, like the son, the other man who is the parent of the child?
He's accounted to. We've spoken to him and we've interviewed him at this point. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time.
Hearing there from police about the shooting at City National Bank building on the 5th floor, we did learn multiple shots were fired. There were 7 people in that room, in that suite for the deposition, and it was treated by police as an active shooter situation. For those that work into the building, everyone was evac and taken to a safe location. The building will remain open in terms of those who work there, except for, as police mentioned, Suite 560, where this crime occurred.
Yeah, and Lieutenant Jason Johansson saying the 2 victims were the
What?
What? Damn it. Okay.
Where this crime occurred.
Yeah, and Lieutenant Jason Johansson saying the 2 victims were the intended target. 7 people in that room, as you mentioned, involved in a deposition, a child custody case, 3 people, and a court reporter.
Homicide the team will be on scene for hours. We'll continue to update you on 8newsnow.com as well as on air.
And the 8 News Now investigators' sources identified the victims of the incident earlier. One of the most tragic parts about this, children are left behind. An infant no longer has a mother and father. That mom and dad, Dennis and Ashley Prince. Dennis, a well-known Las Vegas attorney who we've interviewed several times here at 8 News Now. The shooting happening inside his law office. Attorney Robert Eglett, a close friend of Prince, calling this a family's worst nightmare. I talked with him on the phone earlier, just devastated. He says in addition to their infant child, they both had children from previous relationships. Dennis, a preteen son, and 2 adult children. Ashley, a 4 and 5-year-old. Now, sources tell us the shooter is attorney Joe Houston II. I believe this is video of his law office. The 8 News Now investigators have tried piecing this all together, and here's what we've learned. Ashley was in a custody dispute with her ex, Dylan Houston. He's also a Las Vegas attorney. His father is Joe. Court records show Joe was representing Dylan while Dennis was representing his wife, Ashley. Sources tell us Joe Houston shot and killed Dennis and Ashley Prince before turning the gun on himself. Now, as we mentioned, this happening at a custody deposition. Oftentimes these are contentious, especially when children are involved. But of course, no one expected any of this.
That man came to kill everybody. Or the 2 people he killed himself. He went in there with a gun.
And families of those evacuated from those upper floors of that Summerlin area office building reunited with loved ones over at Red Rock Casino. 8 News Now reporter James Schaefer sharing some of those stories of people who were just going to work this morning before shots rang out.
Brian, Vanessa, families telling me that when they reached out to their family members, originally it was over the phone, but then it transitioned to over text out of fear that they would give away their loved one's location to this shooter inside the building. Police, following police's arrival and safe evacuation of employees from City National Bank office building, evacuees were moved to the ballrooms at the Red Rock Casino, where we spoke with families waiting to be reunited. Families told us people there were just there to work, one simply to make a delivery before shots rang out. Lacey Smith telling us she spoke with her 26-year-old son who worked in the building, saying she would be here for him.
He called and told us that he was in a locked room and that he could hear an active shooter in the building, and that the police had just arrived when he initially called us. Then after that, we didn't call him. We just texted him because we didn't want to create any attention to his area because we didn't know what was going on.
Another woman, Taylor Donlon, told us she was here to meet her mother, who was just dropping something off at the office before having to shelter in place. Donlon saying her mother was quickly evacuated from the building to Red Rock in under 10 minutes after police's arrival. Now, family and friends that are trying to meet with those evacuees and reunite with them were told to do so at the Red Rock Casino. Reporting live from Summerlin, James Schaefer, 8 News Now.
James, thank you. All of this happening not too far from City National Arena, the Golden Knights, saying our thoughts are with the victims of this act of violence. We thank our first responders for their swift action. New information also.
The Next one, MPS school worker charged in drive-by shooting
Elements live at Milwaukee County Jail tonight.
and sexual assault of a student.
Where 30-year-old Oshai Williams is being held on several charges. Syria investigator.
Big story at 6, a woman who worked in a Milwaukee public school is accused of having an intimate relationship with a 16-year-old student and letting him use her gun in a drive-by shooting.
This one is a Syria assailant. It's live at Milwaukee County Jail tonight, where 30-year-old Oshai Williams is being held on several charges. Syria investigators say the student told them this relationship went on for months.
Kristen Patrick, according to the criminal complaint, Williams met the 16-year-old student at Marshall High School. He says she taught him Spanish. They started hanging out after school, and one thing led to another. Investigators say this woman, 30-year-old Oshai Williams, worked here at Marshall High School, where she met a 16-year-old boy and they became romantically involved. According to the criminal complaint, investigators discovered the relationship while investigating a drive-by shooting on February 1st at 27th and Hour.
We went to Checkers, got something to eat. Then shots just came out of nowhere. It just would not stop. It was just going all through my house. Like I had to get on top of my kids.
The woman who lived in that home, too shaken up to go on camera, she still does not know why someone randomly fired into her house. You've never heard of these people?
Never in my life. Never.
According to the criminal complaint, Williams told Milwaukee police the 16-year-old boy got a phone call she thought was a taunt about shots being fired into her own home a few days earlier. The boy told her to drive to 28th and Hour. When they got there, he pulled her loaded Glock out of her purse and started shooting out the passenger window.
Then it finally stopped. God gave me strength to run outside to say stop. Wrong house or...
During that investigation, a Bureau of Child Welfare official interviewed the 16-year-old. He told them he and William started hanging out after school at her house. He said the relationship drive to 28th and Hour. When they got there, he pulled her loaded Glock out of her purse and started shooting out the passenger window.
Then it finally stopped. God gave me strength to run outside to say stop. Wrong house or...
During that investigation, a Bureau of Child Welfare official interviewed the 16-year-old. He told them he and William started hanging out after school at her house. He said the relationship turned intimate and they had been dating several months.
And Syria, how is the district responding tonight?
Kristen, MPS tells me she was never an employee of the Milwaukee Public School District. She was a contract worker on the MPS website. She is still listed as an Elevate Spanish classroom coach at Marshall High School.
All right, Syria Sandlin reporting live in Milwaukee. Thank you. Welcome back. New developments in the Cape.
Next one, South Fulton dad says he put antifreeze in newborn's milk to not pay child support. This nigga needs to be, the death penalty needs to come swift.
Of a father convicted of trying to murder his newborn daughter. He told police he put antifreeze in the child's milk because he did not want to pay child support. A judge sentenced that father to 50 years in prison. Soldier Taisha Fernandez is live in South Fulton, where she spoke to the lead detective in this case exclusively today. Taisha, this was a tough case for investigators, and I know for you as well to cover today.
It was tough for everybody. You know, many of the investigators, Karen, are parents themselves. You know, I'm a parent myself, so everyone has just been disgusted by this father's actions, especially because he appeared to have some remorse, confessed to police, but then took it back. Today, I had the privilege to talk to the child's mother. She's not ready to talk about the conviction just yet, but she did tell me the child is doing okay.
It hit home because it was an 18-day-old baby.
South Fulton Police Sergeant Serta Dickerson was the lead detective on this attempted murder case back in 2020. He said seeing this newborn poisoned by antifreeze was tough.
With our job, we have to really tap into two different places. We have to do our job. We also have to be empathetic with the parent. So it kind of hit home based off of us trying to figure out who done it and what the motives were.
It all started when Curtis Jack got his coworker pregnant. She told police Curtis tried to get her to terminate the pregnancy for the entire 9 months. Once she had the baby, she had to stay in the hospital. So she told the father to come pick up breast milk from her and take it to the baby at the grandmother's house. Curtis told police he put antifreeze in the milk because he didn't want to pay child support.
That could have killed that child.
Yes.
It didn't. But once Curtis was indicted and faced several charges, including attempted murder, he took back his confession. So detectives and the DA's office had to work even harder to make sure the case was solid and they got a conviction.
It's beyond just getting a confession. We still have to prove that the person actually committed the crime. I mean, you still have to prove that the person is guilty.
Did the baby get sick or something? How the fuck did they figure out he was doing this?
Detectives were so confused by the motive in this case because they said the father had a good paying job and the mother does too. I also want to mention this. Police say Curtis Jack was engaged to another woman at the time all this was happening. So that
damn, you're not supposed to be laughing, TVA, because listen to this shit. The actors started laughing.
Used by the motive in this case because they said the father had a good paying job and the mother does too. I also want to mention this. Police say Curtis Jack was engaged to another woman at the time all this was happening. So that may have played a role in this attempted murder. We're live in the city of South Fulton. Taisha Fernandez, Channel 2 Action News.
Fred, according to court doc.
Black first name and a Spanish last name. Okay, the next one. Atlantic City mayor and wife's alleged abuse of teenage daughter may have stemmed from disapproval over a boy she was dating.
Documents. This stem from a family matter. We know from reading those court documents, the parents disapproved of a boy their daughter was dating. And when she refused to stop dating, refused to obey their demands, that's when tension started to arise and the abuse started. Now, from these court documents, we also know that the boy provided evidence that allegedly helps investigators figure out what was going on. The affidavit states the teens had been dating for about 9 months and the girl's parents wanted her to stop. Documents state when she refused, tensions grew and abuse happened. Some of the incidents, investigators say, the boyfriend witnessed through video chat. Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office alleged Atlantic City Mayor Marty Small and his wife, Dr. LaQuetta Small, who's the superintendent of Atlantic City Public Schools, physically and emotionally beat their teenage daughter back in December and January. Investigators reviewed a series of picture text messages, text videos, social media messages. Court documents state showed the girl had been beat on multiple occasions, her boyfriend providing the evidence. For Mr. Small Sr., prosecutors say during an argument, the 50-year-old hit the girl in the head with a broom, causing her to lose consciousness. And another...
The daddy then hit his daughter in the head with a broom and knocked her unconscious. Allegedly.
Alleged incident. Details state Small continuously threatened to hurt his daughter by, quote, earth slamming her down the stairs. In that incident, the document says he also threatened to grab her by her hair extensions and throw her to the ground. Prosecutors allege Small punched his daughter repeatedly in her legs and caused bruising. Dr. Small is accused of punching her daughter multiple times on her chest, leaving bruising. In another incident, the Special Victims Unit reported Dr. Small dragged the teen by her hair, then hit her on the shoulders with a belt, leaving marks.
The mama is dragging the daughter by her hair, punching her in the chest. The daddy hitting her upside the head with a broom and punching her on her legs and shit.
They also say the 47-year-old punched her daughter in the mouth during an argument. 2 weeks ago, Mayor Small held a press conference. This was after county prosecutors' officers searched his home. He stood with his wife, their kids, and his attorney, stressing politics were at play, and he was confident he'd be reelected later this year.
We're dealing with a family matter. We've been dealing with DCP&P, who has been excellent. We're going through family therapy and all. And that's what this should be, is a family matter.
Tonight, Mayor Small sent me this text, writing, note to a response to the charges and to speak with his lawyer. His lawyer returned our call tonight.
The charges filed by the Atlantic County prosecutor today make no claims of public corruption or misconduct in office. or any failure by Mayor Small to properly discharge his responsibilities as a mayor of Atlantic City. On the contrary, they focus only on personal, private, family matters.
Now, the affidavit also ties in Atlantic City High School's principal for not reporting the abuse after she told staff that she would. We do know she has been charged with refusing to report abuse that a juvenile brought to her attention, reached out to her.
Oh, so the daughter told her principal, but because the principal's boss was her mama, she didn't tell nobody.
Still haven't yet heard back. We do know that she is a close family friend of Mayor Small as well as campaign manager. Meanwhile, Mr. and Mrs. Small are due back in court next month. Fred, I'll send it back to you in the studio. We're reporting live from Atlantic City. Leah Uko, NBC 10 News.
Okay, Annie.
Last one, and it is titled, Mother of Baby Dumped in Airport Trash Can Gets Arrested. And I don't know, this may be a body cam thing, so let me see.
So you have a warrant out of Maricopa County, Arizona for homicide. Okay.
No, that's not true, but okay. A mother and alleged murderer is taken into custody after her newborn baby is found stuffed inside an airport trash can. What's going on?
She has a warrant for her arrest out of Arizona.
What? The baby girl was found inside a trash can at Arizona's Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. The girl, who became known as Baby Skylar, was found wrapped in newspapers, a towel, and a plastic Marriott bag inside a bathroom trash can. Baby Skylar was pronounced dead on the scene, and her cause of death was determined to be suffocation. FBI officials later collected DNA belonging to Baby Skylar's mother and sent it off to a lab for analysis. The lab came back with this rendering of what the mother could look like. At the same time, the DNA was entered into CODIS, which serves as a DNA database for the FBI. The investigation soon pointed to one clear suspect, Annie Anderson.
Okay, Annie, so you have a warrant out of Maricopa County, Arizona for homicide. Okay.
Well, that's not true, but okay. This body camera video was reported on December 21st, 2023, but investigators spoke with Annie the year before. It was January 2022 when Arizona investigators traveled to Washington State to speak with Annie. At that point, she admitted she was the mother of baby Skylar and explained what happened. So when she was arrested late last year, it wasn't a total surprise.
Did you know this was coming?
In a roundabout sort of way, I've been talking to them,
kind of dealing with it, right?
but they, I hadn't heard anything. We've been trying to work out some details and some things.
Annie allegedly told police she gave birth in an Arizona hotel room back in 2005. She says the baby was stillborn and delivered into a bathtub filled with water. But according to medical experts, baby Skylar died of suffocation and was likely alive for at least 24 hours before her death. According to court docs, Annie put the baby in a backpack and threw it away because she knew she could not go through security with a dead baby at the airport. After that, she hopped on a plane to Washington State, and that's where she was arrested.
So I'm talking to my mom real quick.
Okay, Annie, so you have a warrant out of Maricopa County, Arizona for homicide. Okay.
Well, that's not true, but okay.
Well, you do. They've asked.
I know.
And we don't have any of the details. We're just asked to
I
arrest.
understand.
Okay.
I understand.
Body camera video shows first responders tell Annie she'll be booked in Washington State as a fugitive.
What's going to happen here is we're not going to ask you any questions or anything like that. Okay. We're going to take you to Snohomish County Jail and book you on a charge called fugitive from justice. Okay. It's because you have an out-of-state warrant. I will.
Even though I'm not actually a fugitive?
You are. It's considered a fugitive because it's an out-of-state warrant. I got it. 20 Ocean 88. Okay, let's walk over to my car real quick. We'll have your mom's time to talk to you, okay?
These same moments are caught on body camera video from another perspective.
So talk to my mom real quick.
Yeah, we'll do that here in a second, okay?
Well, I don't care about the perspective of the camera. I don't care.
You are. Is anything like that?
I do have a knife.
Okay. These two things right here, right? Awesome.
With some shoes.
Okay, let me lock those cuffs on. Yeah.
After she's cuffed, Annie asks for some shoes.
Okay, let me lock those cuffs on you so they don't lock up at all.
There's a pair of black shoes and then have pair of socks. There's a pair of socks and then they're underneath the edge of my bed, so she knows when they are.
Y'all gotta realize how old Annie is. This old bitch, baby. She's an old dyke.
So for you real quick.
I shared a video. See her great fade. She got the Steve Harvey fade. I can't believe her ovaries and eggs still working. Fuck it. Alright, I just shared it.
Then she's loaded into the back of a truck.
Hop on in.
I have a bad back.
Okay. I'll help you up if you want to just put one leg up. How can I help you? It's probably easier to put your other foot.
That's my bad leg.
That's your bad leg. Would it be easier to put you in a car that is a little bit lower? Would that be helpful? You can help her up. She has a bad back, so. Oh. Would it be easier if I put you in a, let's say, an SUV that you don't need? Bring Luke's car up here. This car can be home.
I can.
Just as fine.
I can manage it if you can.
Okay. Well, how can I help you? Ready? 1, 2, 3. There you go. Are you loud? Grab a shoe.
Yeah, this is just today. I thought they was talking. This is a it's a body cam video. It ain't what I expected, but I just shared it on my wall so y'all can catch it if y'all want to watch it and see what she look like. She old in a bitch though. I'm shocked. I'm really shocked that she was able to have kids. But yeah, that's it. I think tomorrow we're gonna do the Diddy Brown interview. The guy that had the riveting speech in Dalton at the meeting the other day, and then was telling the other dude to shut up because he was a groomer. I think that's what we'll do tomorrow. Not quite sure yet, but about 75% sure that's what we're gonna do. But until the next episode, y'all be easy. We out.
So cold, but I'm so hot. Dope boys with them now. The game so cold, but I'm so hot. Same old shit, still on the block. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. The game so cold, but I'm so hot. Same old shit, still on the block. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. 1,008 gram headed straight to the block. Pirates this water while till it's hot. Listen double up, turn a little to a lot. Right hand on the cell phone, taking order. Left hand 360 motor to a lot. Blue hollow tips, gas switches on the dot. State game, true sippers can't be stopped. Laughing at you haters while I'm coming through the paper. Says long at the bottom, won't you meet me at the top? The nigga ain't shit, yeah, I get that a lot. Won't be deterred and I won't be stopped. Shaq Diesel number one, I post up on the block. 24/7 cause the hustle don't stop. 31 flavor, take an order like a waiter. I be selling more gas than a local truck stop. 1,200 strong for a pound to the zop. Got me shining, I'm a star. Ask about me, I am legend. They gon' tell you who we are. Fuck these niggas, fuck these bitches. Get money, all I know. No love for these bitches. Never saving these hoes. The game so cold, but I'm so hot. Same old shit, still on the block. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. The game so cold, but I'm so hot. Same old shit, still on the block. get some knots, gang, we at the spot. If we ever was short, then it's back to the block. You probably get shot. Every day's a sudden change. We getting money, that's one thing that's never gonna stop. Real dope boys do what it takes. Playing high stakes, living to die. Do your time, keep it quiet. No matter who you are, don't get what you got. Stack it up, that's the bond to stay fresh. Oh, they think that you're not. Take the road with a hoe, they gon' let you go. Somebody's gonna say you ain't hot. Just invest in yourself, no worry about nobody else. There ain't no handout. If you say the same, put it on chain. Let them see you ain't tied down. Got a couple rain, did a lot of things. I ain't really gon' talk about it. If me and Trey, get you go. She gon' show up and show out. So don't ask me what a dope at, cause you already around.
The game's so cold, but I'm so hot. Same old shit, still on the block. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh.